out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuned to Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me. In effect, as always, my Philadelphia brethren, Philadelphia half-life partner in crime, MC to the producer, Rel. What's going on, babe?
What's good? Happy to be here.
No doubt. BK, Vay, what's good, baby?
Just pretend my mic is not in the shot real quick. There you go.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Yo, dudes got the illest t-shirts in the game. I talk about them all the time. If I'm the king of low, if I'm the king of joints, this nigga is the king of t-shirts. Pop art t-shirts. You know that touches my heart. I appreciate you rocking that tonight, my nigga. I don't even want to do it. Do it justice. Talk about pop art, B. School these young boys on what pop art was.
Pop art, record label out of Philly, Steady B. What's it? What am I thinking of the dude's name in jail?
Cool C.
Yeah. You know, just
MC Cam, Shantae. Niggas don't know. Niggas had to come from New York to Philly to get a record deal back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Niggas don't know that. So Shantae and Shan was on pop art. I don't know if Shan was on pop art. I know Shantae was. That Fresh Crew with Bismarck was on pop art. So very dope label out of Philly. Like I said, Kelv is the king of that. I got my brother Neltron down there with that Griselda hoodie on. What's good, bro?
Salute. Happy to be here, man.
All right, no doubt. We got my man, Yao G, one of the dopest MCs walking the planet Earth. What's going on, fam?
I'm good, man. How you? I mean, listen, blessed to be here, bro. It's been a long time. Happy to chop it up with y'all, man. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, man, you got a toddler, man. It's always an open seat. But I hit Yao the other day, like, you free? Like, talking about Thursday. He was like, right now? I'm like, nigga, I'm never going to ask you if you free right now. You got a toddler. You're never free. Like, it doesn't happen, man. It doesn't happen.
I'll be tired from being tired, bro. I ain't going to lie. Like, it's
totally understandable. All right, y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. So y'all know I'm a hoops fanatic. So I'm watching all the hoopla about the Celtics and the winning the chip, and it's Luka. You know, he's not a two-way player. He doesn't play defense. All that hoopla. Jaylen Brown, the two-way player. He's doing all this, and they got me thinking, okay, two-way players in hip hop. What does that look like? You know, so this week we're gonna be looking at MCs who play both sides of the floor. You know, maybe they rap and sing. Maybe they rap and act. Maybe they rap, sing, and act. Maybe they used to rap and dance. So we're just looking at MCs and R&B people, because I got a couple of R&B boys on here who, to be honest with you, I don't even know how to categorize them, whether they're hip-hop or R&B. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into when did it become cool to start singing in hip-hop? Because there was a time when it was not cool to sing in hip-hop. You know, I'll never forget the show. I was at a Joe Budden MOP Big Suge MOP show back in 2009, and Big Suge came out and that nigga started singing, and I just wasn't ready for Big Suge to come out singing. You know what I mean? But he's Big Suge, so I mean, this nigga could do whatever he wanted. We wasn't gonna say shit. But when did this become cool? So we gonna be chopping up about all that good stuff. I want to know this stuff in order. So all these people, prayerfully, y'all did that. If not, let's try to put it together real quick. I want these people in order. I'm going to set it off with my number 5. My number 5 person is CeeLo Green. Out the Goody Mob, ATL. I felt like, because you also have rappers who sing, who really, to me, can't sing. Like, I feel like CeeLo can actually sing. I'm not mad at all CeeLo singing out. Like, he has that soulful voice. He can spit. You know what I mean? He got the 3 albums I tapped into for it was Perfect Imperfections in 2002, The Soul Machine in 2004. My personal favorite was The Lady Killer in 2010. He got the Gnarls Barkley, Crazy Stuff. So I got CeeLo doing that, being an incredible rapper. First time I heard CeeLo, if I'm not mistaken, is Get Up, Get Out by Outkast. You know, his verse blew me away. Goody Mob stuff. So I think he's an incredible MC and a credible singer. So that's me with my number 5. Yeah, who is coming up? Number 5 on your list.
Number 5 is a little bit of a shocker. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like British rapping or British TV, but there's a woman named Little Simz who is super duper nice as an MC. And ironically, the first time I ever saw her or heard of her was on the show called Top Boy. British show, as you guys got to see her on Netflix.
Love Top Boy. Who is she on that?
She is Duchesne's girlfriend.
Okay. I ain't know Shorty Rob.
The one that works at the nail salon. That's
right.
She is a dope rapper. A super, super, super dope, talented rapper. I caught wind of her, like I said, the first season that Top Boy was on Netflix is when I kind of checked in on her. And then somebody had mentioned it. And I about a while, probably like 6 months later, somebody sent me the album. I still didn't know it was her. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together prior to like month 8 until I was like, hold on. Because you know, these days with music, when you get the album cover, there's no diving into the album cover. There's no like diving into the person. I just want to hear the music. You know what I mean? You tell me it's dope, I want to hear the music. Then I'll check in on everything else. So when I was listening to the album, then like I was probably like a month and a half listening to it, and I went to her YouTube page to see her videos and see what she looked like. I was like, yo, hold on, is this the same shorty? And it was her. And I'm not sure if you've seen her acting Top Boy, but she's also a really dope actress as well. So I'm gonna roll with Little Simz, man. I'm not sure if you guys have heard any of her work, but my favorite album is Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. She's a really skillful, like, you know, she has some boom bap stuff on there. Obviously, she has some modern UK drill type production on there, but for the most part, she's cut from the same cloth that I think we all love as MCs. So I would definitely check it out. But Little Simz is my number 5.
That's dope. I definitely don't know about Shorty, so I definitely, you know, and I love Top Boy. It's one of my favorite shows, so definitely got tapped into that. I thought you was gonna say she the Snoop character, little light skinned Shorty.
No. Ironically, there's another girl in there that's a rapper too. Not her. The Snoop character is not a rapper, but there's another girl on there. I can't think of her name right now. When I find it, I'll send you the info. She's pretty dope too.
It's crazy that we both know who we're talking about when I'm like the Snoop character. Like that Shorty right there. Right. Pop Art, what's going on, bro? Number 5, what you got for yours? I know it's somebody from Queens, so I'm sure somehow, some way, everybody watching, I promise you, I will bet you a pair of Jordans. What's these? The Taxi Red joints I just caught. I bet you these Jordans, somebody on his list is from Queens. So, who you got?
I got my number 5 is Mos Def. Y'all whatever you want to call him. I got
okay. Yeah, okay. I was thinking it's gonna be Queens off the bat.
No Queens this time.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, Restoration of Black Star, solo joints. You know, Black on both sides. I was watching. Someone sent me a video. I forgot. He's in a Deion Sanders commercial.
The old joint.
Old joint. Yeah. I completely forgot that. But I seen him on Broadway with Jeffrey Wright, and he was holding his own on Broadway, doing night after night shows. I'm like, most very good actor, obviously top MC. So that's my number 5. Right.
No doubt. I ain't mad at that. Rel, who you got at number 5 for you?
I got Fonte at number 5. Rapper, dope rapper, and can like really sing, not like, you know, not like some of these other boys. Like he can really sing, like for real, like, you know what I'm saying. Real dope. So I think I went with him. I think the quality is good on both ends. You know what I mean? So pause.
Yo, here's a wild thing. Anytime somebody say pause, I think of Dame Dasher Cam. Did y'all see this episode of Cam and Mace's show where Mace is explaining how fucking Big L tried to get him and Sham God robbed?
Yeah. I didn't see that yet. Just someone just sent me a clip of that. I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yo, that's a crazy story.
That's a story?
It's a real crazy story. And then Cam is like, L's older brother tried to extort me when he got home from jail. So it is a crazy story. So if you haven't seen that, check that out because I'm just like, yo, that's some crazy shit. What would you say is your favorite project from Fonte?
As far as
whatever you like. For somebody watching, like kind of how y'all was like, sometimes I might be introvert was the little Simz album. Like, what would you say is like, you would say like somebody was checking in on Fonte, what would you tell them to tap into?
Just him, I would say charity starts at home. If we're going just Fonte, you know what I'm saying? I would start there.
Right. All right. And Cal, what would you say for Mos?
Black on both sides. I think it's five of my classes to me. And Respiration too, as a matter of fact, Black Star. So both of them. So yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. Crazy. Vay, who you got in coming in at number 5?
I got 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Was a dope rapper. And he's proven to be a dope television executive. Also with numerous successful shows, highly successful shows. And even creating even more now. I think he got a studio now, something like that. So
yeah, Louisiana.
Yeah, so he making some huge moves based off of that TV run. So he's proven that he's I would say overall businessman, but the television work stands out above all of it because the other stuff felt more like endorsements because he was popular as opposed to this television thing and developing, series of shows and them being so successful. So, yeah.
50's a good pull. I didn't even think about that because truth be told, I ain't mad at 50 as an actor either. You know what I mean? Like,
ain't bad.
I wasn't mad at him as Kanan on Power. It was another movie he was in. Was he a bank robber or something?
Yeah. I know.
It was the joint where his daughter was going to the prom and he like had all them niggas out in the garage lifting and he was like, talking to his daughter. I forgot the name of the movie, but he was good in that. So I'm not even really mad at him as on the acting tip either, but the exec stuff is really a good point because this nigga has really truly started a whole Power universe. Like, the shit is crazy. I think they just celebrated like 10 years or something of doing Powers and everything. So he's got the BMF, like, which I love. I love BMF, man. You heard the shit about how Terry came home and linked up with Supreme's son?
Saw that.
Yeah, the photo with him or something.
Yeah. So now 50 about to be like, yo, I'm about to dead this BMF shit.
Right. It's about to be over. You know what's funny about that? Not to go off tangent, but I think the fascinating thing about what 50 has done is how loyal people are to the brand of Power. Like people. I mean, we're in an era where everybody kind of like wants to watch TV at their own pace whenever they feel like with DVR and all that. But people be clamoring to make sure they're in front of their TV for any of these Power series. I mean,
that shows are going off the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Me personally, there's only 2 that I've watched. I watched the original Power and I watched Book of
Kanan.
Those are only 2 I really bang with, but there are people who are fully vested in every single facet or every single like version of Power they have. And it's interesting to see where it's gonna go. Like you said, with 50 and his studio open in Louisiana, it's only going to create more opportunities for more TV, more shows, more creative shows. And like I said, I'm just really happy with what he's done in this media space because it's very different from anything any other rapper at his level has ever done. I mean, we have Jay, who's done the whole business mogul thing, but I mean, entering the TV space is a difficult space to enter, and he's taken it by the neck and kind of just owned his own space on Stars. So people subscribe to Stars strictly for Power, which is it's a selling point in itself. So 50's dope, definitely.
Yeah, that's a dope pick, man. Neltron, who you got up at number 5?
I got Queen Latifah with acting, rapping, the flavor unit thing. She did a jazz album. She sings too. All of her shows, I think. I don't know if Equalizer's still out, but that was the last thing I saw.
Please say it's not out anymore. I'm sorry. I couldn't take Latifah serious as being the Equalizer. Like I'm not trying to shit on nobody, but Latifah, you're not running out of that building and getting on that motorcycle in the amount of time to get out of the fucking building before the bomb goes up. You're just not. That's like, it's just. I'm sorry, but
I don't think the actual equalizers doing that shit
either. Yeah.
Nah, but that's a dope pull, man. I remember the first time, I think it was Live's third album, is that Black Rain with Winky's theme. You know, and when Winky's theme kind of came on, I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, it really was dope to, you know, just, you know, see all these rappers kind of branch out and do more stuff. So that's definitely dope. The person I got on number 4, and it's kind of the person who kind of started this conversation between me and y'all was Anderson .Paak, man. Like, you know, I want to take, you know, like just 20, because truth be told, I was like, yo, I can't now try like, yo, we doing a salute show to Anderson .Paak. Yeah, I had to slow the fuck down because I don't think Paak has a 5 mic album yet. So I'm like, I can't give you a salute show when you don't even got a 5 mic album out yet. Maybe it's still too soon. But I was like, I do want to take a minute to get this nigga some props because this new NX Worries, this Wild Lord joint, dog, it's just been on repeat. It's not going nowhere. It's one of those albums that I'm taking the time to even get to know the words to so I can sing and rap along with it. And I think he blurs the lines of rapping and singing so much. I don't know what he is. You know what I mean? Like he'll start off rhyming and it sounds dope and then he'll start singing a little bit and come back to the rhyming. So, you know, but we all gonna take a minute to do that. First time I heard Paak was on Dre's Compton. And me and Vegas down there, the only 2 people in the world, plus probably André Young, who actually like Compton. Yeah, more people at the table. Good. The table's getting bigger. Okay, because when I talk about Compton, niggas be like, that shit was whack. I'm like, yo, I love that shit. I still bang Compton to this day. I think I gave it 5 mics. Like, I personally love Compton. And a lot of people was like, nah, it was whack. They didn't give us the next Snoop, the next Eminem. I'm like, yo, nigga gave you Anderson .Paak. Like, from what listening to Compton, I was like, yo, who is this dude right here? You know what I mean? And to see Anderson .Paak go on to have his solo career, I mean, he had Venice, Malibu, Oxnard, Ventura, then you got him with NX Worries, then you got him with Silk Sonic, and it's like, this man just does not lose at anything that he does. Yeah, what would you consider? If somebody asks you gun to head, what is Anderson .Paak? What is the first thing that comes to mind for you? MC or singer?
It's tough, man, because it's funny. I had the discussion because as I was talking to my friends in the group chat about like all the songs, somebody had mentioned the song Battlefield, which is on the new No Worries joint, and I was like, Battlefield is tough, and I just thought to myself, how are you this good at everything? Everything, right? So it's
not to mention this nigga's on his Phil Collins shit, and will do a whole concert playing the drums
by himself and doing vocals by himself, like. There's I don't know what to call. I know he's like, he might just be the true definition of an artist, like a true Swiss Army knife of just everything, because, you know, he plays the instruments, he sings, he writes, he raps really well, and he raps with a high level of confidence that I'm not sure if we see in a lot of MCs in this era. He's got a high level of confidence. When he comes on, he could be on the mic with anybody, and he's gonna be like, "Oh nah, who is that? Who is that guy?" You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm not exactly sure what to call. I know he's the true definition of artist. I mean, he's like a diet Prince per se, as far as just his talent palette. Like being able to, he plays the drums, he plays piano, he makes beats, he sings, he arranges, he writes. I mean, he's got the full gamut of just artistry when it comes to music. And this No Worries project, bro. I know you said it's not a 5 mic album. I think it is.
Well, keep in mind, I just say what I meant by that was just, you know, when me and you talked, the album had just dropped.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I usually take at least 2 weeks to live with an album before I even think about giving it a mic rating. I'm loving it. I can't stop listening to it. I was more so just talking off of his Venice, Malibu, Oxnard, and Ventura. You know, I love Malibu, but it's just not 5 mics to me. I feel like that's his best album out of those. But this NX Worries album is very dope.
I would venture to say this. I have not heard a lot of albums in the last 10 years that are better than Malibu. Malibu is a really well-constructed project. You know what I mean? Like, very versatile. He takes you through different stages. I'm a big fan of, and obviously, I think we've lost our ability to listen to albums in this era. We're such a singles-based consumer that people just kind of want to throw 10 songs on an album and call it an album and then figure out which song sticks, and that'll be the approach to piece of the album, as opposed to like really diving into like sequencing and sonically and what songs transition into what, and what sounds good back to back. How do you create a feel of an album? And I think they did a really, really good job with this. And with all his projects, honestly, like Malibu, Ventura is a really good project. The Silk Sonic project is great. The first No Worries joint is great too. So
and people forget about the Lincoln Suede EP.
Lincoln Suede EP. Right. So it's like the catalog, the catalog is strong, man. He's got a strong catalog. It might not be a 5 mic in there. I think this one is a 5 mics, and it might be just because of recency bias, because I've just been listening to nothing else over the last 2 weeks. But he's up there, bro. His catalog is up there with anybody in recent memory that's come out and been a new artist in the last 10 years. I truly feel that way.
Right. Kel, what about you? Paak is a rapper or a singer when you think about him?
Think of him more as a singer, I think, or just he kind of reminds me of in the realm of Stevie Wonder, in a sense, where you think of more of a musician, like I said, playing the drums, singing, you don't. He can rhyme. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying he can't, but I think of him more just soulful, just making music, just like improvising and stuff. So I just think of him more in that way.
All right. Now, Tron, what about you? Singer or rapper?
Singer, more for me, because he does stuff. He has other projects with Free Nationals, but he like y'all said, man, he does everything. But I would put him with the singer. When he spits, he spits. But yeah, I would give him the singer title.
Greg, what about you?
I think Yao said what I was thinking. I think you can't really call him one or the other. I think he's just an artist because he's so good as a musician. He's so good as a rapper. He's so good as a singer. Actually, Venice and Malibu were out before Compton. The first time I heard him was on Malibu. I think that's 5 mics. And this new joint is crazy. He also went crazy with Bruno Mars. You could tell that second single, he had to write that. Those lyrics were just typical Anderson Paak, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which was crazy because the first single already kind of had people. The second one, like, especially with the video, knocked it out.
Right.
But yeah, he's just, you can't, I feel like you can't put him in one category or the other. And I wouldn't want him to do like a whole hip hop album. Or a whole, well, I wouldn't mind a whole singing album, obviously, but I like the fact that he just keeps you guessing, like you said, Kill, within a verse, he rapping, singing, and it's just like a gumbo or whatever. I think his run is comparable to Kendrick's. Like, I feel like nothing's whack. Even when I wasn't really feeling, what's the joint Dre did? Ventura?
No, Dre did
Ventura.
But he also did Ventura, Like, I wasn't feeling that at first. What was the joint before Ventura?
Ventura was Oxnard.
Yeah. I wasn't really feeling it at first because, it was a different vibe from what he does. And then Ventura dropped, and I went back to Oxnard. I'm like, this shit hot. What am I thinking? It's just different. So I don't think he has anything whack at all. And shit, it don't look like he's slowing down. So it's tough for me to say. I was just an artist.
Right. Well, what about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, he was on my list. Like, I don't know. You can't really put him either way. Put him in a box. He's just an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Just dope music. You know what I mean? Regardless of
now, tell me this. My fault. Tell me this.
Yeah.
I hate doing this. You're at the Grammys. You're putting people in. You got to put people in categories. This new NX Worries is out. Where are you putting that? Are you putting that in best new rap album, best new soul album? I mean, you got to pick a category. We don't have the category for just artists at the Grammy yet. So you're on the Grammy committee. Where are you putting this new Yes Lord? Why Lord out?
You actually do, because that's
they do.
Album, best album and all those joints. They don't say artist, but that means it's free of genre, basically. the categories.
Oh, I mean for best album, but I mean I feel what you're saying, but it's not gonna make best album. You know, like we knew KD3 wasn't gonna make album of the year. You know, so this is not gonna make album of the year, no matter how much we love it. But you got to put it in either the soul or whatever they call. I don't even watch the Grammys anymore. So soul or R&B or hip hop. Where are you putting this NX word?
I'll put it in the soul rap category.
There's a soul rap category now. This is why I don't watch Grammys. Soul rap.
I just made that up. Yeah, I made that up.
Oh, you made that up. I'm like, oh my God, this is why I don't watch this shit. They don't got a category called soul rap.
It's
all right. I feel you. All right. So just wanted to take that time to just give Paak some love because like everybody is saying this dude's discography, and I love what you said, Vegas. His run is just like Kendrick Lamar's. You can't say nothing bad about him. And I'm amazed because I'm like, yo, you don't slow down and you do so much because Silk Sonic don't sound like Malibu, and Malibu don't necessarily sound like NX Worry. So it's hard to put out this amount of music that's all good that sounds totally different. You know what I mean? So just a salute to Anderson Paak. Prayerfully one day we will be doing a show, a whole salute show just to him and diving more into all his music and everything like that. But just wanted to do that real quick. I think, you had put something on Twitter that night like, yo, we got to have a conversation about Anderson Paak. And I'm like, bro, like, let's have it because he's deserving of it. I'm very big on deserving. People think, a lot of people be like, I deserve vacation. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know, that nigga deserves all the flowers he should be getting right now. And I don't really hear his name brought up a lot. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because it's like people love Bruno Mars. Like I was at karaoke at my job. They took me out to karaoke for my birthday. You put on any of them Silk Sonic songs, yo, the whole spot is like going crazy. But I think people still look at Bruno Mars as that front man. So I don't know why Paak doesn't, like, his name isn't brought up more. Or, like I said, when people left Compton, I know we're used to hearing the next rapper from Dre, but I'm like, yo, I walked away with Anderson Paak. Like, what are y'all talking about? We ain't getting no Dre and introduce us to nobody. But I don't know, why do y'all think Paak doesn't get his props like that? You know? Or maybe y'all do think he does. I'm on Twitter every day. I don't see nobody mentioning a damn word about that dude.
I don't, as much as I would like to. And I don't know what it is because even the rollout for this album, bro, I had no idea about the rollout. I like a lot of these songs had dropped a month and a half before the album came out. I had no idea. The first record I heard was the intro, 86 Century. I heard that on Memorial Day. And at that point, that song had been out a month already. And I'm like, wait, why am I missing all of this stuff? You know what I mean? It's a really interesting discussion as to why is he too good? There was an argument I was having with Saha the Prince about like why he hasn't elevated to like the mainstream like goats with Drake and Kendrick, and one of my homies was like, it's because he's good at a lot of things, and that may be a detriment to people, you know, in this age we're in, who kind of want to tie themselves to a person who does one thing really, really well, as opposed to a guy who does a lot of things at a really, really good level. It was an interesting discussion, but I'm just not sure what it is. 'Cause for me, at the end of the day, if the music slaps and it keeps slapping and you keep putting out joints, eventually you feel like, okay, well, somebody's going to take notice. And for this to be his like sixth project, and I didn't hear any mention about it a month prior to it coming out, even though he had the video for From Here Out. He had visuals for a couple other records on there. The song with Her, which might be my favorite song on the album. We'll get to that in a minute. But all that stuff was out, and I hadn't heard it. You know what I mean? And maybe it's me having a 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not sure.
I can't even say that because the only joint I heard before the Where Can I Go joint was the joint with Her. Nate loves that joint, and I thought it was cool, but I just didn't feel like it was a first single cool. Like when I listened to it in the mix of the album, I'm like, oh yo, this joint is dope. But I grew up in an era where the first single got to get your attention. The first single got to blow you away. And to me, I'm like, Nate was like, "Hey, this is a new NX Worry joint." I'm like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't out of Where Can I Go joint. That's in the video for that. The visuals, I was like, now this is crazy. This is Chef's Kiss. This is amazing. And I was like, this is a first single. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You get the people coming. Cal, what do you think it is? Why don't more people talk about Paak?
I think kind of what we were all saying, that he does so many things. I think people like people in a box. To me, if you rap, they think you rap. That's all they want you to do. If you sing, they want you to sing. If you're doing too many things, people can't kind of identify where to put you at. Like, I'm listening to it. Going back to the radio days. Do I listen to an R&B station to listen to? Do I go to listen to a hip hop station? Do I go to a jazz station? So you're all over the place. So people kind of they can't pinpoint exactly where to find you. So I think they go, all right, well, they're a what they call people like it's like a various artists. You're not
right.
You know what I'm saying? You're just all over the place. So I think people kind of look at, I don't know where to find you. So I think that's, even though he's making dope music, right? And when you hear it, you know it's dope, but it's still. Nah, I don't know.
Because I got a feeling if you ask a shorty about Bruno Mars, asked him about Silk Sonic, it's like Bruno Mars and that other dude. Like, I don't even know if they would even know.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I don't even think they would know who Innocent Paak is. Vay, what do you think? Why do you think Paak ain't getting the love he deserves?
I think y'all mentioned it honestly, because in a lot of ways, he's almost like an acquired taste for somebody who's so dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's almost a niche in itself, right? Like, music lovers probably love him. People who love multiple genres of music probably love everything he does. The rollout, that for at least for NX Worries, they on the independent joint. What is it? Mellow Music. So, like, if you ain't really checking, it feels like it's the promotion is lowered. The only reason I knew about some of those singles, one, because I was programming like the stream for WBGO, and I was like, I gotta put some of these joints on there, and that's how I found the new joint. But I get emails from them all the time, and who's checking emails like that? So I didn't realize it. Like, oh right, they had a new joint. So it's almost a shame, because for something that's so dope and somebody that's so talented, he's just not getting the same amount of love he should. And maybe, like, it's like y'all said, some people want to put person in one box. You can't be all these things. And for me, I'm a music fan. That shit is frustrating. It's one of the reasons why you Rock Marciano motherfuckers be like, yo, you ain't got him in your top 10. Nah, man, I don't care about all that. Put the noodles and open your noodles. Man, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? I love the production, but I ain't gonna front. But I think it's like that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all they want to hear all the time. So it's
funny you bring up Rock. Ev, what's good, brother?
Peace.
yeah.
I'm always, and this is a totally different topic, and we just gonna pin this. I'm gonna jot this down, but I'm always interested in how do these cult followings happen? Like where are the seeds planted? Y'all know I'm very big in gardening and just in life in general. You plant seeds, you water, you get the harvest. Like, I remember MF Doom just being Zev Love X. And then, like, he was MF Doom and the world adored him more than they adored Jesus. The same thing. I remember Ruck just being Ruck, then he became Sean Price, and then the world just... Rock Marciano, and I love Rock. I'm a huge Rock Marciano fan. I just don't know how do these people get this die-hard following, and like, well, if Rock Marciano dropped an album, he could be like, yo, digital download is $250, and niggas is like, take my money right now. Like, please take it. I'll buy 2. And it's just like, how? But that's a whole nother show on how. What were you gonna say, Cal?
I was gonna say, I gotta see if I can find an interview. Vince Staples is on Monty Jones' HBO show, and he kind of said, to your point, maybe I don't know. I can't answer that question. But he said something that kind of struck me. It's like, I got 10,000 fans that live on everything I say, and I kind of gear everything towards those fans. I pour everything, like so my emails. If I email you, these are the people on the email replying. If I'm on social media and stuff, people replying. So he's like, I get everything towards those guys, get them locked in as much as possible. And then said, if I can get them to spend $100, I'm a millionaire.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right. Because I swear, don't you say nothing bad about Rock Marciano with certain crowds, man. You know, this. You would have thought you would have said Muhammad Ali ain't know how to fight. Like it gets serious in these Rock Marciano streets, bro.
Right. So for me, I've never been a huge rock guy.
I know you're not. Yeah, you are. You and Eb are probably the most two elitist MCs of liking MCs of people that like. I be talking to Eb. I be like, God damn, you don't like that. Yo, we were in LA arguing till like 3 in the morning. I had to catch a 5 in the morning flight. Arguing over Stove God. Like, I'm like, did you hear what that nigga did? He's like, he ain't saying shit. Like, y'all two are the most elitist. Y'all like jazz artists. Like, jazz people are like the most elitist people. Like, you could do all kinds of horn lines, and the jazz artists like, yeah, I'm bored, nigga. I'm bored. Like,
I think Ev is a little more calculated in his feelings as far from that than I am, because I give people grace. I listen to Migos. Stop.
Yeah, I'll stop. Let me explain something to everybody watching right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was talking about Guru. And I said name 100. I said name MCs that are better than Guru. This nigga wrote a list of 150 fucking MCs. He sent me a list. He didn't say it. He took the fucking time and he wrote 150 MCs who are better than Keith Elam. Okay? Better than. That is what this man did. Yes, it's a true fucking story. It's a true story. It is the truest of stories. He sent me a list.
It's one of the legendary stories of this show.
This is legendary. This is legendary because I didn't think he was gonna do it. I was like, nigga, name. He's like, I can name 150 MCs better than Guru. And I was like, nigga, get the fuck out of here. And he sent me a list of 150 MCs that he feels are better than Guru. And I won't hold you. I was like, nigga, you got some nigga named Fred the Godson at fucking 81. Who the fuck is Fred the Godson? And he, yeah, I was who put me on to Fred the Godson, who I love to death. You know, R.I.P. Fred, I think one of the greatest. People talk about Black Thought's Hot 97 freestyle. Nigga, not over Fred's. Fred owns that shit to me. But all that to say, yes, yeah, you getting your elitist bag too. Because Ev has never sent me a list of 150 people who are better. So I just want, because you trying to paint a picture, and we ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do it.
All right, okay, so that's fair. I am a little bit of elitist in what I like about my rap, but for me, like, Rock was just never like, he never just like did it for me. Like, for instance, you mentioned Stove God. Bro, I listen to that Stove God album at least once to this day. That joint it's a great product to me. I love Reasonable Drought. Same token though, I just don't like Rock as a rapper. I don't love him as a rapper. I just be like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm cool on drumless beats. I love all of that. But as far as like his aesthetic as a rapper, even his content, it doesn't really do it for me. I'm sure Ev can speak to that a little bit as well. Yeah. It just never grabbed me. You know what I mean? And this is why sometimes music is so subjective, because you just won't understand why somebody likes a person that much, particularly when you are aware of their musical palette and things they listen to. You're like, yo, you like him? Him? And
keep in mind, I think Rock is a very acquired taste.
Okay.
Like, when people say they don't like Rock, I'm never not like, oh damn. It's almost like I get it. When West Side Gun first came out, I'm like, nigga, I understand why you wouldn't like West Side. He's an acquired. Everybody is not gonna like. Vegas would always talk about the gun ad libs. Like, after a while, like in the beginning it was cool, but then by like the 5th album it was like, all right, nigga, we get it, you know. So yeah, it's an acquired taste. So yeah, so I'm never shocked about that. Real quick, since Evan's here, Ev, give us one of the people who you got on your list who can do two-way players, who can do a little bit of everything.
Two-way players who could do a little bit of everything. Most, I think I'm sure somebody probably said Most already. I would say Most is in there. I would put Lauren in there.
Well, hold tight. We're gonna just stop. We're gonna talk about Most for a minute, because we ain't get to L Boogs yet. So I know she's gonna come up.
Most MC, actor, dare I say activist? I don't know if activist even like if that resonates at all, but I've heard some of that brother's conversation, and a lot of stuff I agree with. So those are the things that stand out. He doesn't do production at all like that, but I think those are the main two will probably be acting and singing.
All right. Well, now here's the thing that nobody really talked about most. Well, I got most on my list, so we'll get to it later. Yeah, who you got at number 2 for you? I mean number 4. Number 4.
So number 4 for me was going to be like Fonte. But we already discussed Fonte briefly. Me personally, I think it's probably not been a person that's been more influential as far as the way I rap more than Fonte. I love Little Brother projects, Foreign Exchange projects. He had a solo album too, I believe.
The No News is Good News.
No News is Good News is the one. Yeah. Which is, I mean, from I know we spoke briefly on the whole rapping and singing thing when that became cool. I feel like maybe it was Ja Rule, maybe it was 50, but I feel like Fonte took it to another level just as far as a skill. Like it was like, oh no, he's really singing. Like it's not like just melodies. He's like really diving into singing and songwriting as an R&B artist. So I had Fonte at 3, and like I said, I know we discussed it. We could probably spend 3 shows on Fonte as far as like how influential he's been. He kind of gave Drake his blueprint as far as how successful Drake has been with the rapping and singing after his career. So Fonte's number 3 for me. One of the greats and one of the underrated greats in this industry, and I feel like he deserves a lot more credit. Definitely.
It's funny. We did a show. My man Easy Money out of Boston was on, and we were talking about why isn't Fonte mentioned in the top 3? It's always Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. And we came to realize that he didn't have the cosign. You know, Jay-Z co-signed Cole, Dre co-signed Kendrick, Lil Wayne co-signed Drake. And really the only person who really co-signed Little Brother like that was Questlove. I don't think Questlove has the same pull as fucking Lil Wayne, Dre, and Jay-Z. You know, so, and that's really just it, because to me it should really be a big 4, because Fonte should be right there with the rest of them. And unlike his North Carolina brethren, I don't see Fonte ducking no wreck like that shit, like that. Because it's even a running joke in my house. If me and T are beefing, we'll send each other a picture of J. Cole. Like, yo, it's like, I don't want to fight no more. Like, it's over. Like, you know, like, we ain't gonna apologize.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I just been send T a picture of J. Cole. Like, yo, we good. I don't want to argue no more. I give up. You know, so, you know, I do feel that. Kel, who you got up at number 4, man?
See, number 4, still no Queens person. Ice Cube.
But Queens is coming. I'm not losing these red taxis. I'm not giving these up. So I know there's somebody from Queens on your list.
Yeah, I got Ice Cube. Ice Cube album. I mean, come on. America's most Death Certificate, Friday movies. I mean, he's an Boys in the Hood. I mean, higher learning acting. I mean, are we there yet? I think there's a new Friday movie coming out now. It's really that you're gonna do. So, Cuba's everything. And hey, throwing the big 3, do that too.
Right. Right. Funny thing about Cube, when Straight Outta Compton came out, my kids was like, "Yo, Mr. Kill, Ice Cube's a gangster rapper," and I was like, "Was he?" What? You know, but for this new generation, they only know him from "Are We There Yet?" Like that's the only thing that they know him from. So they're like, "Yo, this nigga was that nigga?" I'm like, "Nigga, was he?" Like, you know what I mean? But
are they there yet? Yeah, are we there yet?
Yeah. I get it. Like my kids, when we talk about Eddie Murphy, they the first thing out my teens ears when they hear Eddie Murphy is Donkey from Shrek. That's what they look at Eddie Murphy as, like a cartoon character. You know what I mean? So Cube is a dope pick. Rel, what about you? Who you got up for number 4?
Yo, so my number 4 got talked about already. It's Anderson Paak. And my number 3 was Ice Cube. So
I mean, you could expand on them. You could, you know,
go ahead.
Maybe somebody says something you wanted to get in there.
I mean, I could talk about, Ice Cube.
You could talk about Ice Cube all day. I know. For people watching,
for the whole
Rel and Vegas are the 2 biggest Ice Cube fans, I think, in the whole world. So, Yeah, there you go, right there. So,
so I can talk about Ice Cube for a whole episode. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go Q-Tip.
Okay.
Rapper, producer, Queens. Shout out to Kel. Dope. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think people get misconstrued that you gotta be like lyrical miracle to be a dope rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta. That's not the case. So he's not that type of rapper, but I mean his record speaks for itself, and then his production, he's still going, as we saw with the LL joint. Like, so he's like got 5 mic classics. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just legendary on both in both fields. So I'm gonna go with Q-Tip.
Can't never go wrong with Tip, man. Never go wrong with Tip. Neltron, who you got for your number 4?
I'm gonna go shout out to Cal, Queens, LL Cool J. Everybody knows about the rapping. He's still relevant. His acting, like he was in the Shark movie with with Samuel L. And he did the
eating real quick.
Yeah.
And was that the first time we saw L without a hat on? Because for young people watching, y'all may not notice, there was a time when LL, you never saw him without a hat. Like LL and Run. You saw Run without a hat in Crush Group for like a minute. I think Shilly like knocked his hat off or something. But outside of that,
I believe the first time was like In Too Deep. I believe that first time.
In Too Deep. That was the one. That's the Shark movie, right? That's the Shark movie.
No, In Too Deep.
No, but the Shark movie came first, right? In Too Deep was the one with Omar Epps with Jay Reed. You a cop, Jay Reed. You ain't a cop. I want to say the Shark movie came out before In Too Deep. I think.
Was that Planes on the Shark? Was it Sharks on the Plane?
Now, not Sharks on the Plane. It was some shit.
On the Plane. Who was that?
That was Samuel Jackson. We done mixed up together a shark and a snake, man.
Sharks on the Plane is crazy. I can't remember the name of that joke.
Sharknado.
Yo, if you see a shark on a plane, man, hold on. I'm looking it up right now.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I want to say that was it. Deep Blue Sea was the first time we saw him without his kangaroo on, which was crazy.
And he's still doing the CSI, I believe.
Yeah.
No hat on.
Huh?
Yeah. With no hat on.
I think after that it was like all bets is off. We could see him without the hat. Because In Too Deep is one of my favorite movies. Like, I think he did a dope job. Like, I didn't see LL. I saw the nigga guy. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So, LL is definitely a dope pick. Vay, who you got for your number 4?
My number 4, I have Jay-Z. Obviously, an MC, but a businessman in every shape and form possible, as far as partnerships and original deals and acquiring companies and growing them and selling them. He predicted what he rapped about on Reasonable Doubt in a way that none could have even imagined, right? You went past rich at that point. You're wealthy. So I think for him to do that in the rap space, but still be dope at it and be one of the best to ever do it, and then set the example as a businessman, at almost simultaneously, it's crazy to even think that he could do that. So yeah, Jay-Z's definitely a two-way player for sure.
All right, no doubt. Ev, who you got up next?
3000.
Yeah.
Production, MC, and acting.
And not a flute player.
Not even flute. Notice I say flute. I mean, not that the flute is bad, but that's not one of the ones that I'm gonna put up.
I can't believe they invited that nigga to play that at the Atlanta Jazz Festival. Like, yo, there are jazz flutists, loudest, who have practiced their whole lives and don't get that invite, and you invited this fucking. That nigga playing a recorder. That nigga don't even play the flute. He's a recorder player. That nigga plays the recorder. For kids at home who don't know what that is, before you got a flute, you had to get a recorder, and you had to play that first. So, like, this is shit that first graders be playing and shit.
But I mean, his acting is dope. He's a dope actor. I think he hasn't done anything in a while, but he did show his chops on that. Of course, emceeing and production. That's just a given.
Yeah. I mean, the joint he had with Mark Wahlberg, was that Four Brothers? That was him, Tyrese.
Yeah.
I felt like he did great in that movie.
I feel like he did the Jimmy joint pretty good though too.
Yeah. And I'm not mad at the singing. I know everybody wants to act like they hate the Love Below. I loved Hey Ya from the first time I heard it. I love the Love Below. Happy Valentine's Day, Spread.
I wouldn't call him a singer. He did good. It's a good album. I love the album, but I wouldn't call him a singer.
Here's the craziest thing. The joint he did, Prototype, Raheem DeVaughn did it over, who is a singer, and I still like 3000's better. Which is strange. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this song Resentment. It was a Beyonce song. It was like a hidden track on one of them albums. Love it, because she uses Curtis Mayfield's on the Superfly soundtrack. It's a song called Think, which is just an instrumental. And she sung over it, and Beyonce destroys it. Loved it. Heard Jasmine Sullivan did it too. So I'm like, oh, Jazz is gonna kill this shit. She really didn't. Like, Beyonce's is still better. Like, and I was shocked. And it's weird. So I see what you're saying, but I was just shocked when Raheem did Prototype, and I'm like, yeah, you sung this, but it's still not better than 3000's. Like, and I don't know what you attribute that to, because of course Raheem DeVaughn is a better singer, Right. But for some reason, it's not even close to me. Like, I'm taking 3000's version.
Bro, sometimes the stars got to align, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can have the better skilled vocalist or the better skilled artist on the song, and it just doesn't resonate the same. Like, I heard that Raheem DeVaughn version of Prototype, and it was just like you said, I was like, whatever. Like, I'm gonna go back to Three Stacks version. Like, there's a lot of times that happens in music where it's like people try to cover songs, and it's like, I'd rather the original from the, I don't want to say worse, but the lower tier artists. You know what I mean? This is gonna sound blasphemous, and don't make this go viral, please, guys. I don't want to.
It's going viral.
I prefer the Donnell Jones version of
Stevie Wonder.
Over Stevie Wonder. I knew it. Here we go. Call the dog.
It's okay. It's a safe space, man. Say how you feel, bro.
No. Like I said, for me, even though Stevie's Stevie, right? Like, no doubt about it. But I don't know why, but Donnell Jones version just kind of resonates with me a little better. And I'm, like I said, Donnell Jones is not anywhere in Stevie Wonder's class as a musician, as a singer, whatever. But that version of that song, that particular version does it for me better than the Stevie Wonder version.
I missed it. What's the song? What song is it?
Knocks Me Off My Feet.
Oh wow, I haven't heard of Donnell Jones version.
Were you gonna say, Beck?
That's like his first song ever, I think. I think it's his first.
That's one of his first singles ever.
Yeah, I was not alone. I like it because I think the production at the time was more in tune with the times. So he just did it a really good job at it. That when I went back to Stevie, obviously I'm not gonna say this shit is trash now, but I just vibed with the sprinkle of hip hop on the beat in that version than going back to the other one. And obviously it probably had to do with, what age I was when it came out versus Stevie being something I heard when I wasn't even here, but I liked. So I don't disagree. I fucks with it.
No, there are some. I think we did a show about that where the remakes may actually be better. I mean, a joint My First Love, Avant and Kiki Wyatt to me is better than Renee's and Andrew's. You know what I mean? I will be listening to the original, and I'm like, you're not doing Kiki. And I will turn off the original to put on Kiki and Avant, because Kiki, went to work on that joint. You know what I mean? So it's definitely times when that happens. But
a lot of people like Troop's version of All I Do Is Think of You.
Yeah, over the Jackson 5 version.
Yeah.
But I think it does come back to what Vegas kind of touched on, is that we weren't alive when the Jackson 5 version came out. You know what I mean? So when I first heard the song, I'm thinking it's a Troop song. I didn't even know it was a Jackson 5 song, or that it was a remake or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I know people who prefer intros Ribbon in the Sky to Stevie's.
Oh, that thing. That's a tough. They did it, man.
Yeah, and they both
their version
intro version is a very good.
Very good version.
Yeah.
Tough one, right? Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Now look, Ev, I don't know if you with us the whole show. If y'all don't know, me and Ev talk all the time. This is how the Writers Bench got started and everything got started. Ev, we were looking at the albums that are coming up, because I'm not even gonna bother to do a top 5 list of albums so far this year. I'm not even gonna do that. So normally this is what we talk about. So I'm gonna take a 20-second time out of the show because I want to talk about this before Ev has to hop off, if he has to hop off. What album are you looking more forward to? Because I feel a beautiful thing about what's happening right here is we're getting a lot of late 90s artists about to drop new music. So you've got the Nas and Pete Rock, which I just heard the new shit, and that is crazy. Like, this just keeps getting better and better and better. To the point I never try to listen to the singles. I'm like, after this one, I can't listen no more because I want to be able to enjoy the album. I've heard 4, let me just stop. And I was gonna stop, but then Khan put the beat on his fucking IG, and the beat was crazy, and I was like, I gotta hear this. Then I seen the video. So you got Nas and Pete, you got Primo and Nas, you got the Cliipse about to come back out. You got Snoop and Dre. I didn't know Snoop's new album is supposed to be dropping this summer with Dre, and then you got the LL and the Q-Tip album. What album are you most hyped for? Even though I'm talking all this stuff about Nas and Pete, if you know me, then you know I love the Cliipse. You know I love Pusha Malice. You know I love them niggas. So for me, it gotta be that. Malice has been out the cut for I don't know how long. I'm so happy he found God. I'm not gonna hold you. That album he dropped, it wasn't it. You know, I don't know what brought him back. I don't even know if he's gonna be rhyming about coke. I don't even care. You give me the Cliipse and the Neptunes, I'm good. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, what is the album you are most anticipating that if you could get your hands on right now tonight when this show ends, it's in your fucking iTunes library? What album is it?
It's got it. I mean, like, we have had the discussion ad nauseum about as to how much I enjoy cocaine rap music.
Yeah.
I just do. I've never sold a dime of weed. I've never sold an 8 bowl of coke. I've never sold any of that shit. For whatever reason, when you are talking about coke on a record, I am tuned in all the way in. and it's been that way with me, with Pusha and Malice since 2002. I can't get enough of it. So when they had the joint,
and I think y'all too, to your defense too, it's good coke rap. It's like these two. Like, this is elite cocaine rapping when you are sitting on the stove. This is next level. Me and my man Mills would be like, yo, how are they gonna find another way to talk about cocaine? And they do. And that's where a lot of times people get it twisted. Benny even got at me one time on Twitter. Was like, man, you be talking all this shit, but you be big up Pusha. I'm like, bro, he just doesn't he finds a new way to talk about cocaine, and he's been doing it for 20 plus years. Whether it's Diet Coke, I'm the Hood Obama, shoveling McCain. Like, I mean, he has found a new way to lyricism. I don't know how he does it. This nigga needs to do a master class in how you could rap about the same shit for 30 years and still keep people interested.
It never gets old to me. It just never does. And don't get me wrong, like you said, the joints that have been releasing from this Nas and Pete Rock joint are stupendous. And I heard the one I saw yesterday that Pete Rock has a verse on sounds crazy, and I literally can't wait for it. But if we're picking between the two, and honestly, any other album,
well, not the two.
Yeah,
I mean,
not just the two. There's a lot of albums coming out, but for me, from my taste and from what I enjoy, what I've enjoyed over the course of my life, I am looking forward to this Cliipse album.
You got clear.
Very, very much looking forward to it.
Kel, what do you want on your iTunes tonight at midnight out of this list of albums? I already fucking know. Do I need to even ask? Or am I just skipping over you? Because LL and Q-Tip.
L and Tip. You know it's L and Tip.
Right. Okay. All right. What do you feel about the new single? You like it?
I do like the joint. You know what? I'm not gonna say I'm not in love with it. I love the beat though. But the rhymes, it just seems like they're all over the place. L's rhyming about something. Joe's rhyming about something. Ross, I don't like Ross anyway, so Ross could rhyme the best rhyme that I probably wouldn't like it. So.
God damn, you don't like Rick Ross?
Look at that.
Look at him, exactly. Like I said, I told you this nigga's the most elitist. And they like, that will be the cut.
I think he has the dopest beats, but when he starts rhyming, I just tune out. I just can't. He don't move.
You rapping about food? You don't like that?
Kel, what part of Queens you from?
Cambria, Jamaica.
Okay, Cambria Heights. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm familiar. I stayed in Laurelton for a little bit when I was.
There you go. Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
Bro, what about you, man? What's in your iTunes night at midnight?
It's a tough one. I want to go. You know how I feel about LL.
You know how you feel about LL.
Yeah. We all seen that. I'm gonna go with the Cliipse though. Like, I'm gonna go with the Cliipse, man. Like, I'm always here for a Cliipse album. Like seriously. Like I remember, what's the first one? Lord Willing. And I remember like my circle of friends not being that crazy on it, but I was from the intro. Player, we ain't the same. I'm in the cane and gun. Yo, I said, oh, it's over. Oh man, it's over. So, you know, I'm very excited for that. But I will say I'm excited for all of them, and the fact that they doing it is very refreshing to me. And this ageism stuff is not taking effect. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see. So, but I'm gonna go with the Cliipse.
All right, now Tron, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Common Pete, man. I saw the video where it was Wise Up, and I was excited, man, to see. I think Pete Rock had the bucket hat on and tracksuit. I think Common had a tracksuit on. They just was the shots in the video. It's like, damn, it's like old '90s hip hop, and so I'm super excited, man.
All right, no doubt, Vague. Which one you want?
Cliipse, man. Like you said about the rhymes, what I love about them is you could hear the attention to detail in their writing and how they enunciate. And I love Pharrell's brand of boom bap because it's so unpredictable and it's always hot. Because you want to think, oh well, it's like a Pharrell beat, but it's like. But it has a harder edge to it, so it's like this is how Pharrell does boom bap. So I'm curious to see. And then with all this coke talk, Stove God's on it, so he probably gonna have the most coked rhyme he's ever written.
I'm looking forward to that because I won't hold you. I've been hearing Stove's verses and I haven't been loving them. Like they're cool, but they're not the reasonable dry. Like the joint he got with Benny, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I'm like, it's. You know what I mean? It's good, but it ain't the reasonable drought. Like, oh, let me rewind that back. So I'm hoping that, being in the studio with them niggas, you got it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you better come with your most elitist. You better find that rhyme book from 20 years ago when you was really cooking and bring that shit back out for this. This, Ev, which one you got, good brother?
All right. What I'm clear of right now is I believe that there's some Common and Pete stuff that I haven't heard because the 2 singles I heard, I'm not all the way excited about it. Out of the singles that I've heard, I think I like L and Tip Joint the best. I don't like the video though. I wish L would just calm the fuck down.
He was like, you want to get these hands, nigga. This nigga doing sign language. Everything he rapped, the nigga used to eat, and then he went to his head. Like that nigga did the whole video in sign language.
I like L's verse on that track. Kev, to your point, the song is all over the place because Joe was rapping about something and Rick is rapping about something, but I like what L is doing. I just
no doubt. His verses.
Yeah, and I like the Tip beat, so I'm excited about that. I want to be excited about Pete and Com. I'm not crazy about the I love hip hop tracks. That's just I'm over those. So and I feel that's what I got from Com and Pete. And I want to be hype about Cliipse, but my man went full Jesus. I never seen nobody go full Jesus and come back.
That's a concern.
So I want to see what happens.
That's a concern.
It's a little concern. I just want to see what happens.
That nigga said he went full. I've never seen you go full Jesus and come back. Now that's a T-shirt right there. Man. That's a sidebar vintage right there. What you gonna say, Vay?
There is one example that Mace diss record towards Cam was kind of Murder Mace.
It was definitely Murder Mace.
Yeah, that's Murder Mace. That was Murder Mace.
So he gonna have to backslide a little bit on his album.
Hey, you know you can't mention Mace on this podcast. People get upset about it. You mention him.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Who get upset? Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't get upset about Mace.
Yo, man, I had some dialogue with folks on your timeline about Mace who are not the biggest Mace fans in the world. I'm keeping it.
No. Now keep in mind, like I've always said, I never knew Murder Mace.
Okay.
The only Mace I heard was fucking Can't Hold Me Down Mace. You know what I mean? But I always say that, like, if that's how I was introduced to Mace, you gotta understand, I don't know Children of the Corn, I don't know Murder Mace, I just know that nigga. So when people be like, yo, Mace is one of the nicest ever, I'm like dumbfounded, like, this nigga? But I let people know I never heard the mixtapes. And we know in the 2000s, I know Mace's mid-90s, it's like the record labels wanted you to not be what got you signed. Like, Cassidy was a certain type of rapper. So when I heard Hotel, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is not Cassidy. Or like when niggas was telling me about Fab Sport. And I'm like, oh, okay, niggas killing clue tapes. Then I hear him on this Superwoman with Little Mo stuttering. And I'm like, this is the nigga. Like, it was just something that was happening in the 90s where it's like, yo, you this dope, ill rapper. Now we want to sign you and make you corny almost. And I didn't understand that rationale. Like, why are y'all in the hoods trying to find the grimiest niggas just to polish them up? Like, I didn't get that. You know what I mean? But I take y'all word for it. Y'all tell me Murder Mace was a monster. I personally can't see it. But, you know, hey, you know, I'm sure somebody was looking at Hotel like, yo, this is the nigga who was battling everybody in Philly and this nigga. And then when Gets No Better came out, I was like, oh God, this just gets worse and worse and worse. It's like the hole gets deeper, you know. Thank God he came out with I'm a Hustler. I felt like that kind of redeemed him a little bit, but you know, that just is what it is. All right, so we're looking forward to these joints. Do we think what we're looking forward to is going to be the album of the year? So I do think the Cliipse could be my album of the year. Yeah, I feel the same way. Do you feel like the Cliipse will be the album of the year for you? Keeping in mind what has already come out, Benny's come out.
If we're talking about strictly from a rap standpoint, yes and no. I feel like it's probably right there. I'm also probably in the minority here. I'm looking forward to J. Cole's project, the next project that comes out. I think he's going to drop.
Oh no, he's been silenced. He's been silenced. That nigga, you apologizing to rap battle, nigga. Try again next year. When did that apology came out? I was in New York, so it had to be for my birthday. He can't rap again until April 2025 for me. So that nigga has been silenced for a fucking year. If you apologizing to rap battle, nigga, you don't get to say shit for a fucking year. I do not want to hear the best rapper who lied. That whole J. Cole shit was a fiasco. Like, that nigga just, I would have rather, let me explain to you what I felt like J. Cole did. There have been times when I have just got rolled on. In Philly, we call it getting rolled on. There's times that I would rather just get jumped than run. You know what I mean? I would rather be Drake right now, who's getting stomped the fuck out, than the nigga who apologized in a rap battle and ran. So, but that's just me. There are other niggas who have ran plenty of times to run from an ass whooping, and they don't mind that being under their belt. Oh, that nigga ran. Oh yeah, so the fuck what? I ain't get beat the fuck up. I'm the way Philly raised me. You take that L. So the fact that this nigga apologized, he cannot rap again until April. My birthday was on a Wednesday. I went to New York on Friday. He dropped track that's 3rd. He can't rhyme until April 5th, 2025 again. Oh man, he is silenced. He is silenced. You cannot apologize in a rap battle after you made a diss track talking about don't feel right in your spirit. Nigga, you've been bragging on your rhymes for the past 10 goddamn years. Did that feel right in your spirit to be that boisterous, to be like top best? What do you say in that Benny song? Top 5, the best rapper who live. I don't know all this shit, but okay, but I just won't listen to it till April 5th, 2025. So, but I am interested to see, are you going to change the way you rhyme because you apologize? Like, Ev, you know niggas in Philly, you can't be on the block talking shit. Yo, I knock a nigga the fuck out. What you said to me, nigga? And get knocked and run, and then come back on the block with that same intensity behind you. You can't do that. Like, you ran, my nigga. You ducked the battle. You know, after you said you was the best. So what are you gonna rap about now? I'll never forget my man, I don't even want to say no names. In middle school, my man was talking all this shit. My man beat the fuck out of him. And the craziest thing is he came back the next day like the shit ain't never even happened. The nigga was like, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm like, oh shit. Like he nigga did a fucking Men in Black. Like he was like, we just gonna forget about yesterday. Yeah, I got my ass whooped, but we just gonna keep it moving. And I got a feeling that's what J. Cole is gonna do. He's gonna try to act like nobody remembers, but we all do. We all do.
Touche. I won't get into my feelings on Cole in the battle because I think it's a very layered discussion. And you're not wrong in what you're saying, but if we're just talking about the albums in itself,
right. You're looking forward to Cole.
I will say I think it's going to be either Cole or Cliipse, from just a rap standpoint. But I still, going back to the original topic of this podcast, I don't see an album that's going to be better than Why Lord from at all in any genre that I listen to personally. I don't think I'm going to see it or hear a better album than that one.
That's really. Kel, do you think your pick will be the album of the year?
No. Listen, I mean the joints, the Pete and the Common joints that I've heard so far, that's gonna be album of the year to me. I think. I mean, them joints, all of them, but this hit. I think that's album of the year.
All right, bro. What about you?
Possibly. It just depends. It just depends on like, just like everybody's opinion. Like Ev wasn't feeling the Pete and Calm joints. Some people are. So like the clip, I picked the Cliipse. Like it's gonna be some people that's like not fucking with it. I know for me, it could possibly be the album of the year, just in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I don't know.
All right. Neltron, what about you? Common Pete, you think it's gonna be album of the year?
Nah, he's gonna really have to rap his ass off. And like I said, I love the singles, but I miss Common from One Day It All Makes Sense. And Resurrection.
Making a name for good. Mm-hmm. But making a name for ourselves, man.
Oh my God, that was
hungry.
Hungry.
Common.
Yeah,
that is true. I haven't heard that yet. I've heard a lot of songs, but I haven't heard that hungry, like
right, like Water for Chocolate. He was still spitting, and then when you got to Electric Circus, of course, nobody likes that except me. I love that album, but you got to B, and the style kind of went. I love B, but there was a difference between B and One Day It All Makes Sense. I miss the Common from One Day It All Makes Sense, but I do like I'm glad that he's rhyming. And he's with Pete, so, but I don't think.
Yeah, I can say this is the best I've heard Calm sound in a minute for me. So I think that's what I'm. Vague, do you think the Cliipse is the album of the year? Is going to be the album of the year?
Nah, I don't think so. It might turn out to be one of my favorite albums, but honestly, when it comes to album of the year, and you look at the track record of some of the albums that have, or at least the albums that I've looked at as album of the year, like last year, Michael, like that's more than just being good. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit beyond that. And I think I'm just gonna, like this. And like with the Pete Rock and Common joint, I just like the beats, and I think it just taps into my old school sensibilities. It doesn't mean like it's the craziest shit ever, because Wise Up, as soon as Common, like, 3 blind mice walk into a room, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not black, but I'm like, Pete came with the heat.
The beats. Yeah.
But Common's, he's need to find whatever that was on those earlier albums and tap into that, because I think Pete is all the way in with the concept. Because every time I hear a song, I'm like, damn, he just flipping these shits and it sounds crazy. And then Common is he's not whack at all. He's more serviceable than, blowing me away. Like Nas's verse on the Primo beat that I didn't like is better than what I've heard Common do so far.
Right. And that, what about you? What you think? You think your LL pick gonna be album of the year?
I don't think it's gonna be album of the year. I think I'm more intrigued about that album because there's two cats that I didn't expect to hear any more work from. So the fact that they popped up and they're doing something together, and then I heard the single, and the single's not bad. I'm listening for more of an intrigue. I would just love to get a good album from them. And I think I feel the same. I share the same views as most when it comes to the Common and Pete joint. Like, I want it to be dope, but I feel like Common ain't really. Common has been a dope MC. He has not. I feel like he did win that Oscar, right? He won an Oscar. Was that the Oscar he won for?
Maybe.
I think since that time.
The song.
Yeah. I think he's been trying to write to appease the masses since that time, and it's no good. It just doesn't resonate for me. I think that's the thing that I don't like about Pete. Sounds dope. What I don't like about that album right now is Common. So.
All right, no doubt. Man, hard crowd. Ain't nobody picked Primo and Nas. Nobody picked Snoop and Dre.
I think it should have happened. That should have happened like 20 years ago.
Right.
Oh, I mean, y'all know me. Last thing I want on my fucking list is a Primo and Nas album in 2024. That's the last.
I'm hopeful, but I'm not.
I mean, yeah, I'm hopeful. But the first single, this is what kills me. It's like, everybody, oh, you crazy killers gonna be crazy. The first single dropped and niggas is on it for a day. Like, niggas was like, yo, this is the craziest shit ever. And then the next day I woke up and it's like, shit never even happened. Like, Nas doesn't even sound like he wants to rhyme on this. I feel like Nas feels like he's guilted. Like, you said you was gonna do this. You did the shit with Hit Boy. You have ran out of it. I feel like there was this one time when my mom wanted me to go out with one of her girlfriend's daughters who wasn't really that cute, and I really didn't want to do it, but I wanted to hold my mom's car, so it's kind of like, fuck it, I'll do it. I feel like that's what's going on with Nas and Primo right now. It's like, I really don't want to do this. Yeah, I want my mom's car, you know? Like, and the funny thing is that was like the thing. Like, my mom could always lord over me was the car. Like, one day I'm gonna get my own car, and it was like, yeah, but until then, nigga, just you gotta do what the fuck I want. Because he just doesn't seem inspired. What you say?
Isn't Rakim dropping something too?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Rakim is dropping, but I feel like that's a compilation album. I'm sorry, you're right. I should have added that. I feel like it's more of a compilation album. It's like he's producing all the tracks, and then it's like featuring all these other MCs. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's his Soul Survivor, Pete Rock. Like, I'm gonna produce all the tracks. I'll get a verse, but it's gonna be Master Killer and Corrupt. It's gonna feature all these other MCs that are on it. I think Planet Asia's on it. I think 38 Special's on it. It's a whole list of people who are like featured on it, but I feel like it's more Rakim showcasing his beats and a verse here and there than anything. What you gonna say, Paak?
Shit is trash, man. Let's just stop playing. Trash, bro.
Yeah, I like the single.
Yeah, like, and I mean, he's still the god. Don't get it twisted. That is Rakim. I still bow before the altar of Rakim. But I will give him this. I feel like he's trying to come out of a shell a little bit that he's always in. So I don't want to shit on it completely because, you know, you don't want the brother to go back in his shell. But at the end of the day, to your point, it's just like, ain't BG on there? Like, BG, I don't want to. Man, I saw his name on there.
Everybody, remind me of this because I'm old. I will forget it. Remind me when we stop recording. To tell you all a story. Just remind me that, and because I'll forget it, even if I write shit down. So just remind me to tell you a story. But yeah, no, I agree. I don't like the single at all. It was like, niggas is like, yo, Rakim produced the bulk of Eric B. and Rakim stuff. No, he didn't. Stop. No, he didn't. Didn't happen. You call Rakim a lie? Here's the thing, everybody watching. There are at least 4 people who are stating claims that they produced for Eric B. and Rakim. Marley Marl, Rakim, Large Professor, Eric B. Yep. So, and then we have to put Paul C's name in there. You know, so there are 5 people who are saying they all produced these songs. Somebody's lying. Okay? Or I'll even give this to you. People have different definitions for the word producer, especially in the 80s. Do I believe Rakim may have said, hey, use this sample? Totally. but that doesn't mean you produced that beat. You know what I mean? So I think that's where we're coming into play. Because here's the thing: if Rakim did produce the bulk, and bulk to me is 80% or more of Eric B. and Rakim shit, then Rakim should never needed a producer when he broke up with Eric B. He should have been right in pocket. And if you made Microphone Fiend, nigga, I'm like Jay. You niggas saying you made Hove, make another Hove. You know, if you made Microphone Fiend, make another one. If you made Paid in Full, make another one. If you made, you know, fucking No Omega, make another one. You made Mahogany, make another one. And he hasn't. And that's just what that, I don't do, what's that shit? What's the, Kel, what, yeah, basketball, analytics. I don't do analytics. I do the eye test. I'm old. I don't do the, I do the ear test. When I heard what Ali was producing and I heard what Tip was producing, I was like, oh, Tip is the one who's been making all the beats. I didn't need a documentary to tell me that shit. My ears told me that shit. Okay, so Rakim doing an album with Nick Wiz. The fuck is you fucking with Nick Wiz if you made Paid in Full, I Ain't No Joke, Follow the Leader, fucking Let the Rhythm Hit Him? Nah, nigga, you don't need Nick Wiz. You could do it yourself. But neither here nor there. All right, I'm excited for Snoop a little bit because that Dog Pound album right now is my album of the year so far. I love that Dog Pound album. You know, so we gonna say, Cal?
I'm gonna say you got one more artist. Since you're going 80s and 90s artists, and Coochie Rapping, Alchemist got an album for that.
Oh, I ain't hear nothing about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now my interest is peaked.
Yeah.
Because
G
Rap did an album a couple of years ago with Domingo, and it was like, yeah, okay. But Alchemist, now I'm interested in that. That's a good interest. Yeah. Now, yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm intrigued now. All right. Number 3, I got Lauryn Hill. You know, of course, we just did the whole show last week, and I was saying, you know, do y'all think Lauryn Hill could actually write a whole hip hop album because she's never really done it? Me and was talking on the phone last night. That was like, no. What about Final Hour? I was like, all right, 2. She's made 2 songs. That's a full fucking rap song in her career going back to 1993. You need more than 2 songs. But Lauryn can sing. She can spit. She was in Sister Act. I mean, it wasn't great acting, but for me, it's just Lauryn being able to be a singer or an MC, because I still think Miseducation is a 5 mic classic album. It's not the greatest album of all time. I don't know what the fuck Ebro and them niggas over at Apple are smoking, but stop, because it's not good for your brain if this is the greatest album of all time. Incredible album, the furthest thing from the greatest album of all time. I don't even know if it's the greatest fucking album of that year. And I mean, I gotta actually look at the year, because it's damn sure not the greatest album of the 90s. So the fact that you're talking about the greatest album of all time, like, nigga, it ain't even the greatest album of the decade, and it may not even been the greatest album of that year. But Lauryn Hill is my number 3. Yeah, who do you got for your number 3 pick?
I actually have Lauryn Hill as well in my number 3.
Okay.
You know, grew up in Jersey. You really couldn't escape it. You know what I mean, when you were young, and obviously it was the first female MC that I gravitated to, like, as far as like really being a fan. Obviously, I heard Latifah, I heard MC Light, everybody else from that era. But as far as an MC that really like resonated with me, a female MC, the first one was like, that was, let me not say that, because I love Little Kim as well. But as far as somebody that I knew was writing her own rhymes and really delivering, it was Lauryn Hill. That album, Miseducation, stood the test of time as well. I went to a seminar where I was speaking to like college kids when I was like 32, and I was surprised to see how many 18 and 19-year-olds at the time had known about Lauryn Hill, but knew the entire album, like all the songs, writers, producers. You know, they knew the whole gamut of the entire thing. So very influential. Obviously, she's also an actress as well. So she gets that nod from me. I'm not sure if you guys saw the Sister Act 25-year anniversary show they put on the View with Whoopi Goldberg doing the choir thing, which is really dope. We didn't see Lauryn, obviously, but you know, Lauryn was in that movie for those who don't remember, and she played a very pivotal part in that movie. Pretty solid actor, but rapping and singing, I'm not sure if there's too many people who've been better at it than she has, even though she only has one full project. She has the Unplugged project as well. Is there another project I'm missing as well? Is there another project?
I don't think so.
It's just those two, the Unplugged and Miseducation. So you know, I know it's a very it's a minimal catalog per se, but it resonates and it's had a great deal of impact on the game. So I'm rolling with Lauryn Hill number 3.
All right, no doubt. Ev, I know you gotta get ready to jump. Tell them a little bit about Prophet, vinyl, where they can copy that, the T-shirts you rocking.
Before I get into that, I'm gonna get my last one real quick.
All right,
and my last one is gonna be EST. It's not that much of a shift, but the fact that you went from MCing to writing for Beyonce, I thought that was just dope. And during that time, not too many MCs was doing shit like that, so I got the little EST out there. Outside of that, yes, Prophet is there's the vinyl is officially out. It's not out on streaming yet. Maybe probably by the end of the month, maybe next month sometime. We'll have the streaming thing out, and yeah, just still rocking shows, still trying to put that that message out there. As far as it's funny because we're having a show about multifaceted, but talking about MCs and the journeys and everything that it takes to the study, the commitment, the discipline, all those things go into the working. That's what we're talking about on stage. So kind of fits for what we're kind of what we're talking about right now. It's an art form. It's not just something that you just grab a pen and just go. There's a study for it. So yeah, that's what's happening with the Prophet piece.
Where can they cop the merch at? What's the merch?
You can cop everything on 7nms.com. The merch is up there. The vinyl is there. Right now we have t-shirts and sweatshirts. There's still some more of that left. And we're just gearing up for the next batch of shows. But right now, 7nms.com, nowmasterself.com, and you can find what you need up there. Or you can or also IG too. You can get it through IG.
All right, for all the people out there always like kill with Apartment 5B t-shirts coming, this is the closest thing to Apartment 5B t-shirts you're getting. So for everybody out there that's why I don't do it, because niggas always be like, oh, where the t-shirts? Then I'll be like, here the t-shirts. Niggas be like, oh, I don't know. Like, so this is why I don't do it.
All right, yeah.
Right. Like, niggas be like, I've been asking for the t-shirts for 20 years, and yeah, now they here now. All the people who want t-shirts, this is my brother. You support Prophet the same way you would Apartment 5B. Cop the t-shirt, cop the vinyls, very dope. Ev is MCing. I produced the track on there, so it's a very dope project, man. So good looking out as always, Ev, for popping in, man.
Thank y'all for having me in here.
All right, yo.
Peace.
All right, Kel, who's your number 3, bro?
See, no Queens. Back to the West Coast. Ice-T.
Okay.
Ice-T.
That's a good pick.
6 in the morning. One of my favorite joints of the 80s and stuff. Colors.
New Jack Hustler, man. That was my shit off the New Jack City soundtrack.
So New Jack City, exactly. That's one of the first movies you see him in, right? New Jack City. You see him in Trespass with Ice Cube. And, he produced some Body Count, rock groups. Had a cop killer song, then becomes a cop. He's been on Law and Order, I think, 20 some odd years. 20 years. So,
yeah.
Definitely doing the dual role of MC and actor.
Kel, I want to personally thank you for naming West Coast people, so I don't have a bunch of motherfuckers saying we're an East Coast bias show. So I appreciate you naming Ice Cube and Ice-T. I hope all you motherfuckers out there heard me say the Dog Pound right now is my album of the year, and stop talking this. Y'all gotta get over this shit. Like, I get it, but you gotta get over this shit, y'all. Like, you gotta get over it. Like, I know you didn't have your father. I get it. It's sad, but you have to get over that shit. Like, yes, I get it. I feel the pain. We're still 30 years later talking about this East Coast bias. Nigga, it really, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but at least not with me. I love West Coast MCs. If I say, oh, I don't like DJ Quick, oh, Killer's your East Coast bias. How about I just don't like DJ fucking Quick? How about that? Is that just okay? If somebody said they didn't like Freeway, there is nothing in my soul that's gonna make me say, West Coast bias, nigga. You just don't like Freeway. Like, it's really, but y'all gotta let that shit go. For real, y'all. Let that shit go. Let go and let God. Because it's getting tiring. Like,
real quick on that, it's funny how, like, whenever you call the South out for not really, like, adhering to the rules of hip-hop and, like, really, like, diving into lyricism, they feel away. You know what I mean? But they want to get at East Coast people for not giving them respect for what they've done in the game. which is just so it's just so false and it's so convoluted. Like, bro, we've been showing the South love for a very, very long time. Like,
bro, I tell niggas Outkast is my GOAT hip hop group ever. How the fuck don't I fuck with the South?
And people will see people say that, oh, you only like Outkast. Why don't you dive into like, yo, no, I don't want to dive into any of that. You know what I mean? Like, I like a lot of Southern artists, but they're like, don't be bringing me like, I remember the the Master P craze was huge back then. I'm like, yo, those just aren't my guys. You know what I mean? Even now, like, people be bringing dudes to me, and I'm just like, it's just not it. And they automatically attach you to the hater column when you don't like it. It's like, no, it's just not my twist. You know what I mean? Like, but it is what it is. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but thank you, Kel, for bringing that up. So we at least got 2 West Coast people, and the Dog Pound is my GOAT album of the year so far. Neltron, you got a number 3, man?
I got Tupac Shakur with rhyming, and he's not the best lyricist. Everybody knows that. A more cinematic poetry, but his acting, I think out of all the rappers you've seen in hip hop, I think Paak is up there. He convinced me he was Bishop. I didn't see Tupac. Gang related. What's the other
Gang Related is a slept on joint. I love Gang Related.
Gridlock.
I love that joint.
If he
love Gridlock too.
If he wouldn't have stomped dude in LA, man, and we could have seen so much more of his range. He had range, Poetic Justice. Not my favorite movie, but Pac was dope on with his acting chops, man. There's no denying that. So that's my.
No, that's a good one. Bae, who you got?
Ice Cube. I got to keep West Coast in the bag. Obviously, as a MC, storyteller, ghostwriter, all that good stuff as far as a rapper. Also as an actor, started with Boys in the Hood, then on to Friday, the Big 3, but also, as an executive in the film industry, because doing Are We There Yet? Obviously we were too grown to care about that, but that was a big film, and that was his, that was his production, his idea and his acting, the same gangster rapper doing Are We There Yet? And it's the 60s. So I think in a lot of ways, he may be more respected now by some as, a businessman, but people forget that he's done all these other things. And you can tell he's just doing what he likes, right? Hip hop, hoops, and film. So, yeah, man.
Sometimes you get that barbershop. I mean, we gotta be up to what, Barbershop 8 by now?
I'm a barbershop.
We gotta be on Barbershop 8 by now. Like, we done seen everybody. E was a hairdresser. Everybody done worked. Common was breakdancing. Yeah, like, we got to be up to Barbershop 8 by now. So,
how many were there? I didn't see any.
No, I think that answers like 3 or 4.
It's like 3 or 4, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's a nice bag, man. That's a nice bag. Another thing about Cube, and this is just the barber in me, he's one of the first people who always had a sharp shape up beard with the whole beard shape. That's just the barber in me. I'm always looking at haircuts and everything like that. And Cube always was one of the OGs. Him, Anthony Anderson from Blackish, always had a good, nice, crispy. And Gerald Levert, R.I.P. to Gerald Levert. Gerald Levert always kept the dope beard shape up too. You know what I mean? Again, just the barber. Just the barber. Bro, who you got at number 3?
Mine is all. I had Ice-T, like Kel, and just basically some of the same stuff that he said, but also like he been on SVU for like that. They got like 20. Yeah, they got like 25 seats, and that's like I know people that live and die by that show. That's a classic show, and he been on there for forever. You know what I'm saying? And like he's a really good actor. Was I the biggest Ice-T fan of his music? He had songs that I like. No, but I always respected him, and he was one of the people that when he did the art of rap thing and all that, like I always respected him his presence in hip hop. So I think he's one of the top as far as like he really can act, and he was really doing hip hop like all the way back. Wasn't he in Breaking?
Yeah, he was in Breaking.
Yeah. So yeah, he's legendary. So.
I don't know about 2. 2 is when Turbo was dancing on the ceiling. I don't even remember part 2. He was in 2.
Yeah, he was at the Radiotron or something. And he was breaking the records and had the Furious 5 type gear on. I'm like, damn, I see, he was wild. He did a little game in New York Undercover as well too. I think he was in New York Undercover for.
Yeah, he killed JT's girl. Killed JT's girl. Yeah.
All right, that's true.
Yeah, that's dope. All right, number 2, I got Mos. We kind of already talked about it. The acting, Brown Sugar, Monsters Ball. Shout out to my man Sakani from Queens. He wrote all the rhymes for that joint Carmen, the hip opera. You know what I mean? Went to Morgan with us. Shout out to him.
He wrote that?
Yeah, he wrote the whole thing. Sakani wrote the whole joint. So all the rhymes, all the rhymes that Makai and Beyonce and Mos, all of them saying, Sakani wrote all of that. My favorite joint that he was in was the Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg. That I felt was dope. Like Kel said, I mean, you got Black Star. The stuff he did on there was incredible. Black on Both Sides, The New Danger, True Magic. Now, what was this? The S? What was this joint? I can't even pronounce it. The Ecstatic, and the Niggas. I felt like Mos could do it all too. I felt like he could sing too. Like Umi Says is probably one of my favorite Mos songs. What's up, man?
I'm gonna just say it here every time you bring him up, man. I saw him at Carnegie Hall with Robert Glasper before Robert Glasper blew up, and the nigga sung Poison. And I'm sitting there like, all right, because when you get to the bridge, you got to do it how Ronnie did it. And that brother could sing, man. Like, he did the whole song, like every verse, and I was like, damn, Mos is talented. So
So, I feel like he's a triple threat. I feel like he's a rapper, a singer, and an actor. And he was acting, I think, before he was even rapping. So he's not your regular, I'm an MC and now I think he was doing like Bill Cosby Mysteries or some shit like that. So he was, it's not like it was, I'm the rapper and now I'm going to be an actor. Like, I think he was acting even before he became or was known as a rapper like that. So triple threat for me. Yeah, who you got at number 2, bro?
We actually discussed this already. I actually had 3 Stacks as number 2, I think. So I had Paak at 1. So my whole list is already wrapped. I got I had 3 Stacks at number 2.
Okay.
My orders are completely messed up once got the kid and all that, so we've been running around. But obviously Stacks, I've discussed Stacks probably 35 times on this show alone. But like you mentioned, Four Brothers was a great. I didn't see the. Did you guys see the Jimi Hendrix movie? I haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
I did. It was cool. He did a cool job. But here's the thing: I don't really know enough about Jimmy to know if he really. I mean, I felt like it was good, but it's kind of different. Like like with and I'm gonna bring up some other people, but in those movies, I kind of knew the person, so I felt like he did a good job with Jimmy. I wasn't.
Right. I mean, for me, just from a rapping and singing standpoint, I feel like you said, like we stated earlier, he's not the best vocally, but that Love Below album, he just came across. He took the chance. And that's a thing a lot of artists don't do. Just kind of take a chance and kind of step outside themselves, and he really delivered. Like we mentioned Prototype earlier, there's a lot of joints on there. A lot of Roses is a good record. There's a lot of joints on there.
She Lives in My Lap. I mean, Happy Valentine's Day.
She Lives in My Lap and Happy Valentine's Day might be my 2 favorite songs on that whole project. But I mean, then you just talk about the elite level rapping, and I know people don't want to put him in the class of a top 10 because of the lack of solo projects, but I mean, man, you throw that guy in the cypher, I'm not sure if anybody else is coming out of there, bro. So he's a really, really, really well-rounded MC. Has the full gamut of skills.
All right, so let me. I gotta ask the question then. Same thing I asked people last week. Do we think that 3000 can write a whole entire hip hop album, 3 verses. And if he can, why hasn't he done it?
I think he can, because when you're that skilled, I mean, bro, look, you can listen to the catalog of Outkast and just really just see like, yo, nah, this dude is an elite rapper.
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me say this.
But like you said though, like you said, to write 3 verses
12 times.
12 times. 10, let's say 10. Let's just say 10. 3 elite verses 10 times. I mean, bro, that's a tough task for anybody. I don't care who it is.
Yo, here's a great thing. Me and Ev just had the same conversation, and I'm like, nigga, life is tough. That's what separates the good ones from the great ones. Is that is tough. But all the other people who do it, and I gave Ev this example. DJ Babu, one of the greatest DJs out here, great producer, and Dilated People know I love Dilated. And the regular Dilated album is like 8 tracks, Alchemist, 2 Joey Chavez, 2 Evidence, and 2 Baboos. And Babu's tracks will always be dope, and I'll be like, yo, why don't this nigga produce more? And he did a project with the Far Ride, and I was like, oh, that's why you only do 2 tracks for Dilated, because you really don't have the chops to be able to produce a whole entire album. Right. You know what I mean? So there are people who are just good for that 1 track on the album. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could give, but again, in my days, you had the producers I came up on, they produced full albums. So for me, that's my prerequisite. Just Blaze could never make my top 10. I don't give a fuck how much I love him, because he hasn't produced a whole album dolo. Niggas be like, what about Freeway? He did 80%. Nigga, last time I checked, 80% ain't 100%. What about Saigon? He did 80%. Like, he has not produced a whole album. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, what's up, y'all?
I said Saigon.
Yeah, like, you don't like Saigon?
I'm not a huge fan.
Yo, you are now get a whole list of 150 rappers better than Saigon. You ain't got the time no more. You got a newborn, so you ain't writing no list. You may get to 10 and have to tap out.
I caught flack for this in 04 and 05 for not liking Sai, bro. And it's just like, I tried, bro. When people try to convince you that this dude is the next one, this dude, this guy, this is him, and you'd be like, like for as much as I feel like Jay Electronica is a far superior MC than Saigon to me.
Oh yeah,
and I don't love Jay Electronica like that. I feel like he's far way past Saigon. I feel like Saigon got a lot of credit just because of the time he was in and the association with Just Blaze and being a New York rapper that everybody wanted. There was a sector
at that time. It was like Psy and Paak were gonna bring New York rap back. Like that was the campaign. It was almost like nigga running for president. Like
these are the next guys.
We're gonna bring New York City back to being the shit again. And I feel you with Psy. The way you feel about Psy, that's how I felt about Paak. I'm like, I don't understand the hype at Paak at all. Paak to me don't even get the big piece of chicken at his. Are they still together? I don't want to disrespect. I mean,
we've heard the cheating rumors. I'm not sure.
When they were together, I was like, Remy is the best MC in that house. You know what I mean? So, nigga, you ain't even get a big piece of chicken at your own table. So, you definitely ain't bringing New York rap back. So, but there are people, Cal, Don, you too.
Me and Don were both on.
Yeah, love Pat. And I'm like, I don't get it at all. That nigga had Alphabet Burger. And I'm like, nigga, are you fucking telling me the alphabet? Like, nah, nigga, I can't, man. I can't. But all that to just say, I'm just always wondering, after that Babu thing, it was like an epiphany, like, every producer is not built to produce an entire album. If you just ask for 3 tracks, I can give you 3 tracks for an album. So I do think the same is for MCs. I'm not saying it has to be Lauren and 3000. But I do believe that there are just some MCs. Meth is one of them. Meth cannot hold me for 3 verses for 12 songs. If you just want Meth to come in and give you a 16, he is the king of that shit. You are going to get your money's worth with a Meth 16. But there's just never been a Meth song that Meth can't give me a warning. or he hasn't. Meth can't give me a everyday struggle. Like he just had, like for me, he can't. So again, I'm not saying they're Lauren and 3000, but there are MCs who are only good for that 16. And it could be possibly why they're in groups, because it's like, hey, I'm able to, I fit in good with this segment right here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it depends on who you play with. Y'all are hoopers. Yeah, I know you remember this. There was a time when Tim Thomas was in Phoenix with Steve Nash, and Steve Nash had Tim Thomas in the playoffs looking like a goddamn monster. The nigga got greedy. I think he went to LA to the Clippers, and the nigga went back to being regular Tim Thomas. Like, a lot of times it depends on who you play with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For
so there are some MCs.
For the record, Tim Thomas has always been regular to me. That's neither here nor there.
He's what?
I'm not. Tom's always been regular to me. Always. I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan of Tim Thomas either. I've never been a fan. But that year in the playoffs, playing with Steve Nash,
he hit the shot. Actually, I think I want to say they were down 3-2 against Kobe, and he hit a shot to bring him to Game 7. And I was so pissed because, not to go off tangent, I just don't like Tim Thomas. He only played well in contract years. Every time he signed his contract, he'd just be bumming it up after that until it was time to sign a new contract. I just did not respect him.
Nah, I never liked Tim Thomas at all. Never liked him at all. I hated him and Kerry Kittles.
The Suns past here like you're long-time Nick either.
Hey, we traded him. Funny enough, we traded him for Keith Van Horn. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, when we had Keith Van Horn for that short stretch, we were cooking.
Yeah, that's true.
We traded him for Tim Thomas. Shit went to bed. Yeah. We shit the bed.
What you gonna say, Bang?
I was gonna say, just using 3 Stacks as an example. A lot of times, MCs who we know in groups start out as soloists, so they are capable of writing songs because they've been writing before, and sometimes you get paired up with somebody, sometimes it's organic, but you were a soloist at some point, because I don't think there's too many stories of literally 2 MCs starting together writing for the first time. It's always like even Mobb Deep, like P was already writing, Havoc was already writing, so the capability is probably there. Like I said last week, I think just based off of what he's done with the 16 is there. I think with him, he's kind of like Anderson .Paak. He doesn't like being in a box. So the idea of give me 3 verses probably makes him uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that he can't do it, but he probably wants to do things in a way that's not uniform, that makes him feel comfortable. And you just wind up with a nigga playing the spiritual flute and shit now.
Now, I will say this too. I agree with you that people start off doing that, but I don't know if you start off knowing how to construct songs. So, like, if me and you were growing up at 15 and I rap and you rap and niggas like, yo, you need to hear my man Vegas, niggas like, yo, you need to hear my man Kill. We both were solo artists, but there is an art to writing a song that just because you were a solo, to me, you weren't a solo artist, trying to come up in Philly or come up in Brooklyn and shit like that. I was just rapping. Like, you know what I mean? And I wrote my rhymes. Were they 3 verses? Probably not. We hear about how you had to go to the dungeon and Rico we all had to go. I don't know anybody who didn't have to go to a studio and have somebody explain to them, nigga, stop rapping. What's up, man?
I didn't need that, but I'm just saying because some people are different. And it's not that.
Right. I was going to say, maybe you're the anomaly, but most people are like, you went to the studio and it was like, nigga, you got like 8 verses in 1 bar. Like, you got to split this up and you got to have a chorus and you got to have that. So again, I'm not saying that that didn't happen, but for the average person, you needed somebody to explain to you like, no, nigga, this is how you write a song. You know what I mean? But again, and I'm not using 3000 as Lauren as that example, but the same way with producers, it's like I said with Meth, I just don't think Meth has the capability to keep me captivated for 3 verses for 12 songs on an album. Oh, you know what I mean?
You're not lying. I did a Red and Meth like tier list, and when I do those, I go back and listen, and I was like, I didn't even know Method Man had this many albums. When I tell you, there was at times I was cleaning up and all types of shit, and I'm like, yo, I need to turn this off because
right.
It's just niggas rapping behind me, and I don't even care. Like,
right? It's like, yo, dog, incredible person to give you a 16, and I will give you that belt. I will give you the TV title, the Intercontinental title. But nigga, you can't get the world title if you can't make an album. And me and I was talking, and I'm like, dog, I'm not even asking you to make a classic album. I'm just saying to get my top 10, you got to at least have a solo album. It don't even got to be a 5-minute classic. Like, nigga, this ain't even a hard prerequisite for you to crack the top 10. You just got to have one. And Lauren, 3000, none of these people have at least one. You know what I mean? Big Boy got what, like 4? You know what I mean? Big Boy like, yo, I'm making albums with Sleepy. I'm making albums over here. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So again, it's not them as example, but that Babu thing, it showed me that, okay, this is maybe why some of my favorite producers only get one track on the album, because like, nigga, you only good for one track. Kel, did I do your number 2 already?
No.
All right, who you got?
All right, 50 Cent. So.
I can keep my sneakers. I can keep my red taxis, because I knew there was a Queens nigga coming. I can keep my sneakers, man.
Yeah, 50, man. I mean, you guys already touched on it. I mean, music. I was, his business acumen, like you said, the GU and the sneakers, the liquor company he got.
But what was it? Did he do water? Was it Sobe water?
Yeah, vitamin water. Vitamin water.
Yeah, the vitamin water.
Vitamin water for what he said, for $100 million, something like that. Yeah, 50 just, and obviously the TV shows like Big said earlier.
Yeah, it goes back to Vegas' point, man. That TV shit. I don't know how he did that. Like,
I don't know how he did it either. Nah,
that was just, I would love to even hear a master class with him of how he put that together. Like, did he step to stars? Like,
right.
Vague,
Well, I know a little bit, because when Power was out, remember, like, when Power first came out, it was kind of like a competition between Power and Empire.
Empire, right.
Yeah.
I remember originally, not a lot of people, they don't say that shit now, but not a lot of people was watching Power. They were watching Empire. At least
Empire was number one show, right? Yeah.
Right. And I just remember, like the after the show thing. So like the show writer is a lot like Shonda Rhimes in a way, where it's like urban soap opera type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think 50 had the foresight to hire her to, let's just not make it gritty, because that's what we're known for. There has to be an element of soap opera to it, because that formula's worked for years. It's addictive to people, the drama and all of that. And I think that's what makes it work, because it's almost like you taking a soap opera and mixing it with The Wire or some other urban tale, and so you kind of tied in, because it's so, typically, I won't say authentic, because anytime Ghost went to put in work and a nigga got dressed up to put in work, I'd be screaming at the TV like, yo, it's him, nigga. Like, he the only nigga with clean clothes on coming to put work in. But at the same time, I felt like with 50, because it's not just the Power verse, right? He had the show on ABC about the lawyer.
Oh, yeah, when he was locked up in jail, right?
Yeah, the guy life, yeah.
Yeah, he had that joint, and something else he had. I can't remember, but to your point, like basically, I think that was the formula of mixing two different worlds. So you have that addictive television side, but then you have this gritty side that we're attracted to, and the fashion and all of that. So I think it just works, except for Tommy. I can't watch that shit.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that. And the only one that I really, because even with Power, I was kind of like, this nigga's taking his high school girlfriend out for ice cream. Like, nigga, like, what the fuck is this? Is a first date? Like, nigga, and you the biggest drug dealer in New York? Like, nigga. But I love Kanan. Like, I think Kanan is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I mean, just even when niggas, at first I wasn't watching, niggas like, yo, you would like it just for the low by itself. Just for the low alone. You will love this show, and I've loved Kanan ever since. Now, Tron, what's your number 2?
It was said already, but I had Fonte for number 2. for his work with Foreign Exchange, his little brother work. I think he does some voiceover work as well. And, he got the podcast with Questlove. So, and he's super knowledgeable.
And I know he was
music.
And he was writing rhymes for that show, The Breaks. Remember VH1 had a show for a minute called The Breaks?
Yeah.
He was writing rhymes for that too.
Okay.
Yeah, he was writing all the rhymes for that joint too. So,
yeah,
like I said, one of my favorite Fonte songs is that Good Jeans, man. Like,
hell yeah.
Just the fact that album that you could talk about, black men taking care of their health and burying your father, and then went to the repast and they the same shit that killed them. Like, I'm like, yo, that's, crazy to me. So yeah, definitely Fonte. Vague, who's your number 2?
Number 2, I got the GOAT, LL Cool J. Obviously, musically, just being relevant for decades. Also, still being able to captivate an audience when it comes to performance. To have hits, for people to even still care about LL and Q-Tip album today is still crazy, considering when he came out. And then as an actor, yeah, he's pretty solid, because I'm not the biggest fan of God in that movie because it's a lot of LL in it, and I can't unsee the shit. So I'm like, this nigga always extra, like a drug dealer. Like, relax, nigga. Like, but I like it because at the same time, I didn't feel like he was LL, because LL was so many different things as a personality, as an MC. Even as a businessman, sure, he's not on a level as like an Ice Cube or whatever, but to do that in that Gap commercial, and it was his idea. That's some slick shit that, this just tells you that his brain is always thinking about, how to be next level, basically. So obviously the acting is cool, but also, just what he's done musically is also great. And also, real quick, Rock the Bells, right?
Oh yeah.
Sure, them getting a deal with all that money. He putting all that money.
Got equity in that too.
Yeah,
equity in that scene.
Right. And he put a lot of that shit to work. Because it's one thing when somebody signs a deal, like Irv Gotti announced, I made 3 that I ain't seen shit yet. But with LL, he makes this money, he gets this deal, and you start to see the merchandising, the concerts, the cruise, just everything. So there's a business acumen to him also that I think is starting to come out a little bit more publicly through Rock the Bells. So
that's dope. Well, who's your number 2?
It was 50.
Oh, you listen to all that stuff. 50. All right.
Yeah, it was 50. Basically, with everything else, a legendary run as a artist, and then just his business acumen is unmatched, man. And then he about to have his own studio. Who knows what's coming from that? You know what I'm saying? I saw he posted. He had just left Tyler Perry's studio or whatever. I guess getting some ideas or whatever. He posted it. Yeah.
Don't do it. Run, nigga. Run.
Nah.
What you might say? Run, nigga.
Run. I don't know. But he's
Run.
His own studio. I ain't getting into that. What you talking about?
Run, nigga.
Yeah. So he's doing big things. So I went with 50.
All right. Number 1, I'm clocking in with my man Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. Man. I don't know what this cat doesn't do to act in Community, Atlanta. Come on, Atlanta. That you talk about a run. I wasn't even gonna tap into this Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing on Prime. Ended up loving that joint. You know what I mean? I forgot he did the solo joint, the Star Wars Han Solo playing Lando Calrissian. You got that. Like, I didn't know the boy had a comedy special. Yeah. And it ain't bad. Like, the boy got a stand-up comedy show. Not to mention he sings, he raps. Personally, I love Awaken My Love from 2016, Redbone. Incredible album. I'm not mad at the album, the 3/15/20 album that he dropped during COVID. Then he kind of re-released it recently, just this year. It's called like Vista or something like that. But I just think the boy can do it all. I mean, he did the singing of the Tamia song, so I just feel like he can do it all. Like, you know, to be able to write Atlanta. And I like this Vince Staples show, but it's very Atlanta-ish. You know what I mean? So it's like, love it, but it's like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of horror movies doing this shit too. Like they do their trailers like a Jordan Peele trailer. You know, so it's almost like they're following this template. Brandy's in this new horror movie. And T was like, is this a Jordan Peele joint? I was like, nah. And it's just being shot that way to make it look like that. But yeah, I got Donald Glover, bro. He can do it all and does it all great. I mean, the singing, rapping, acting, and writing. Like, yo, Atlanta to me was just like, I was blown away from episode 1. There's so many classic episodes of that show. So I got Donald Glover. Yeah, who you got at number 1?
I had LL as well. And I mean, obviously adding all the acting into it, but for me, it's the music. Obviously, he got albums in like 4 decades he's put out. You know what I mean? Like,
I was 10 when LL dropped Radio. I just turned 50.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like he dropped the album probably like 10 years ago. So like the fact that, I mean, the longevity is always a thing that like really puts a stamp on your greatness. And he's got a lot of hit records, battles, albums, moments in hip hop that, you know, he's hosted the Grammys, or he's hosted Grammys?
The Grammys.
Hosted the Grammys. He's hosted a bevy of award shows. Obviously, the acting, he's still on CSI, like we mentioned earlier, and the movies too. Like LL, we don't speak about him enough, probably because he's been out of the limelight musically the last 10, 11 years per se. Even though he's got the album coming out this year, which I'm not overly excited about, other than the fact that he's dropping another album. It's gonna be in another decade, which is crazy. I think L is probably what, like 54, 55 or something like that. Yo, you just gotta give it up for somebody who's been in the game that long and just done a lot of different things at a very high level. So I'm gonna salute LL. Out of all the guys on my list, he's clearly done the most. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to LL.
And the funny thing, L always gets his props on here because somebody's always on my timeline trying to tell me he ain't shit. So it's a constant. I'm always defending LL. Like, y'all niggas like have no idea, man. You know about L. Right. So it's crazy. Kel, who you got for your last up?
Guys already mentioned Queen Latifah. Obviously, incredible lyricist, playing the unit, acting, singing. That song with Stevie Wonder, the jazz album. So no, Latifah's my number 1.
All right, no doubt. Now, Tron, who's your number 1?
We said it already. I got CeeLo as number 1. Top level MC, singing his butt off like he just came out of church. I think he did a few voiceovers for Boondocks and American Dad. As the preacher.
Yo, I miss the Boondocks so much, man.
Yeah,
I miss the Boondocks so much, man. Yeah, we get canceled 5 minutes in. It wouldn't even make it through a whole episode before somebody pulled the plug. But the good old days of when you could just talk your shit and not get. I miss those days.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. CeeLo's a dope pick. Vague, who's your number 1?
Number 1, I got Will Smith.
Oh wow! How can I forget?
That's a gap.
Yo, that's crazy. I actually totally forgot all about Will.
That's an absolute mistake by all 6 of us in this.
All 5 of us. All 5 of us.
5 of us. My bad. 5 of us. My bad. That's a real live gap. How did I not even think of Willard? Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, like when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? I think every time he's on a press junket, like recently, and you get reminded of his hip hop roots, like the joint with Cass, Grandmaster Cass.
Right.
Or like, prior to that, with the other Bad Boys press junket where he rapped Brand New Funk, and everybody was like, yo, he still got it. And people just forget, like, yo, he had impact as an artist, as the Fresh Prince, obviously as Will Smith with Summertime. What he was able to do with having a hit movie like Men in Black, but then you have a hit single also to go with that, and then you just look at the acting, and he's done everything from, you know, straight up action films, blockbuster films. He's comical, right? He's funny at the same time. He could be dead serious in other movies,
or in real life.
Look, I was doing anytime you can walk up on live TV, unbutton your blazer real quick, put a slack, and then button it back while you walk through your seat.
Oh man,
that's all I saw when I saw that. I was like, pimp, like look at this. I was like, God damn. But yeah, just crazy talented, and in a lot of ways, again, like he kind of gets looked at as an actor. And I didn't even say it. His television show, you know what I'm saying? Because actors will tell you television ain't the same as movies, so it's a whole different vibe of trying to do either of the two, and he's been successful at all three. So
yeah, I don't know how I forgot Will. I'm talking about Kelvin Queens. I done left off the Philadelphia representative, but this book right here, very, very, very dope book. You know what I mean? I wouldn't peg it as a motivation book, but it's a very dope book. You know, it really helps you to see what the hard work that it takes to put in and to accomplish some things in life. So to the point that I've actually purchased this book and sent it to some of my peoples to kind of help motivate them and get them jump started. So very dope book. It came out after the slap, and I know a lot of people after the slap canceled Will, but very dope book. Who I got left? Ralph, who do you what's your last joint?
So I just want to apologize to my
the city, right?
People, yeah, the city, because I forgot where. Damn, that's really bad. That's bad. I had LL as number one. I don't really gotta say much. You know, everything. Everybody really said everything. That encapsulates, you know, his contribution. I mean, the Rock the Bell stuff is crazy. One thing that really was like one of my favorite things about him is, like you were talking about J. Cole earlier, like L ducked no smoke from nobody. I don't care, you know what I'm saying, who it was, you're gonna get a battle out of him. Whether you think he won or you didn't like this or that, he's not gonna let you get that off. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna battle you, you know what I mean? So I just think when you think hip hop, he just checks every box, and then going into acting and all the other stuff. I just think, you know, he just checks every box for this topic. I got somebody that got some potential. I don't know, are we getting into that? But
yeah, you got extras, knock them out.
I think Joey Badass has potential to be really good in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? We know his music and all that, but his acting is really good. I think, you know, if he keeps it up, I think he has potential to be somebody that we probably have on his list years later.
Yeah, he kills his role in Kanan, John. Like, yeah. He's super dope. Did anybody have any extra? Oh, I got some R&B people. Jamie Foxx, want to shout him out. He does it all. I mean, from singing to the impressions to the Ray. And that, I was gonna bring up Jamie about the whole Jimi Hendrix thing, where it's like, you know, I don't really know Jimmy, but I've seen Ray and Jamie fit right into the mold of that. So that, and I also want to give a shout out to Missy Elliott. You know, she's another one of the people who I look at her more as, I don't know what Missy is, because I've never looked at her as a rapper. So I guess I look at her as a singer, but she's really not a singer. So I guess she's a rapper. I don't know why I never looked at her rapper. And then I also got to give love to Luke James. He's a new school R&B boy. He played Johnny Gill in the New Edition movie. He's on The Shop. But I don't know if y'all seen the show on Amazon called Them. If you haven't seen it, watch that show. I wouldn't be mad if the boy won an Oscar for his award. Like, when I watched him on that and then I go to The Shy, I'm like, nigga, how do you dumb down your acting to do this Shy bullshit? But the shit he's doing in Them is, I mean, this is high level. You talk, what?
Is that the show? Oh, wifey, that's what you watching? Yo, he was acting his ass off in that show.
Wow.
No, listen, I fell asleep because I was a little inebriated. You know what I mean? But I was watching like, yo, this is some good ass acting by
Yo, I'm telling you, he's killed. Yo, and that's why I said he must. It's them. It was a series. This is like, I guess, season 2. Like, and it's like you don't have to watch the first season to get into this season. You know what I mean? At the end, it'll kind of help that you watch the first season, but it's not like you have to. But his acting on that, because I know somebody is watching this and they're like, the nigga from The Shop. Trust me, he is dumb. You know how we talk about Murder Mace and fucking Bad Boy Mace? That's what's going on with this. So the shit he's doing on The Shy is nothing touching the brink of what he's doing on that show with them. So just wanted to shout him out too for that.
And he can sing, right?
Yeah, he's a singer. Like on top of that, he is a singer.
He was on Thank You Cuts,
yeah. Other people I want to shout out, Heavy D. He could rap, dance, and act. You know what I mean? He do, but performing with the boys, like he was never a step behind. He was on point with them. Dilla, rapping and producing. And here's the thing. I'm not gonna hold you not the best, but Black Thought. Like, yo, I'm not mad at him. He got a joint called How'd I Get Over? I actually like him singing. He sings the first verse and then he raps the second verse. And I honestly don't mind the first. I don't mind the first joint. And then he's got a joint on the second, Stream of Thoughts, the one that Salam Remy did. And the first single was him singing, and I was like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? So wanted to just definitely give love to them too. What are you cooking up, bro? It's been a minute. Are you in the lab? I know you got a kid. I know that takes away a lot of time, but are you working on something?
I am. I don't even know how to call it. We can probably discuss it offline, but I am in the creative space, is what I'll say. I'm in the creative space, not necessarily music, but I'm in the creative space. So we can talk it offline. I still have albums online. If you want to go check those out,
where can they get them at?
You know what I'm saying? But I got some things cooking up. We'll discuss it offline when we stop recording. But yeah, there's some things going on. Definitely.
All right, where can I get your stuff at? The stuff that's out right now.
Oh, my bad. Search Yao G's on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. What's the other one? I'm missing one. Those are the 3. I'm all over YouTube with a lot of the poetry stuff and the rap music for sports stuff that I've done. It's all on YouTube. The last thing I did was last year. I did for 2023. I did a piece for Big Ten and their Big Ten tournament. That was the last thing that's been out there in the public. But I'm still writing, still getting to it. But we'll discuss what I'm doing offline, definitely.
All right, and you did the voiceover work for the Sham God piece, right? I
did. I met Sham God 2 years ago, which was really cool. We discussed the piece and all that, which is really dope. But I've done voiceover pieces for Sham God, for Jelly Fam. Who else? I've done voiceover pieces for ESPN, Anscape. Who else? Who else paid me a little bit of money to do some work for them? A lot of Yahoo is another one I've done. Yahoo Sports. For a long time, I was really heavy in the sports space. So it's been really good. Hoping to get some more opportunities with that sometime soon as basketball and football start to open up in the next couple months. So we'll see what happens.
You know, my favorite was the one you did for Dawn Staley. So
yeah. Shout out to Dawn Staley. She actually shouted me out for that, which is really one of the dopest things that happened to me on Twitter was her reaching out to me and complimenting me on the video I did for her. She follows me, which, hey, listen, I know these things aren't major, but when somebody decides to hit the follow button for somebody you don't know that you admire, I think it's always a nice little notch on your belt. So really thankful for that, definitely.
All right, no doubt. Cal, where can I get at you, good brother?
Before you say, I got one more. I've got MC Light when Yao just said about
voiceover work.
He's killing it. Yeah. Obviously, voiceover.
Right.
Give me Big Kelv on IG, Kelv Davidson on Twitter.
It's funny because I think that's one of the things that D Nice was talking about, just about, rappers where if you still want to rap, like, yo, that's cool, but there's so many other places where rappers can, you know, make their money. And it is great to see, like anytime I hear her voice at the Grammys or the BET Awards, I'm like, yo, that's love. Like, yo, like, that's dope to see her being able to, you know, feed her family still, you know, using her voice. You know what I mean? And it's fun.
Commercials too. I think I heard her on like it was like either a State Farm commercial or like
State Farm.
Right, yeah. She's big in that space, man. Really proud of her, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. We was driving home and I was playing South Bronx, and they was asking me something about Kendrick and the Drake thing, and I was like, well, this is the original. You know, this is one of the original battles right here. So I played at the bridge and then the South Bronx to kill that noise, and then the bridge is over. And then she's like, what other hip hop battles? I was like, oh, let me tell you about Antoinette MC Light. You know what I'm saying? Now the bad part is Antoinette ain't streaming, so I couldn't play I Got Attitude, but played the top billing, and I was like, then she came out with I Got Attitude, then Light came out with this. So, you know, just love teaching hip hop. Now, Tron, where can they get at you, bro?
Well, I have RZA was my last one. Honorable mention with the producing, MCing, and acting. His acting's not the best, but he's ventured off in that world. Yeah, I'm only on Twitter right now. I'm giving IG and Facebook a chill. So I'm on Twitter at NowTron8000.
All right, no doubt. Vague, we got this Bed-Stuy vintage too, man. I want to say this may be my favorite one. I don't know. I go back and forth with the joints that we've done, but I really am enjoying this volume 2 right now.
Yeah, we got some boom bap shit people ain't here yet, so we'll see.
Y'all dropped the project?
Yeah,
we've been doing EPs. We've been doing 3-song EPs.
It's on Bandcamp?
Yeah.
But it's not. When I went on Bandcamp, I didn't see it for purchase. Is there any way we could purchase it? Or
you could pick the price. It's free, or you could just pay if you want to go.
That link has got to be on one of y'all pages, right? I'm gonna go to Vegas.
It's just Vegas World Inc.Bandcamp.
Yeah, and it's pinned on my profile on Twitter. So it's Apple Music and Spotify also. But yeah, man, you know, me and Kill talked about, you know, kind of doing some more music, but, you know, not just hunkering down and focusing on the whole album, like kind of knocking out some joints and then releasing them in these 3-song EPs. So we just released Bed-Stuy Vintage Volume 2 with 3 new songs, 1 song featuring Rel, who's on here. You know, we
killed it.
That's the shit's crazy, man.
Total fact shit. And the next release will be like the album. So obviously it will contain some of those records, but it'll contain records that people haven't heard before. And honestly, you know, I want to give a shout out to Kill, man. Nigga ain't never charged me one dime. And we got
listen, I'm always gonna be thankful for Kill, right, bro. Listen, in this day and age, even when you cool with people, like when they still gonna hit you in the head with, hey, listen, I need a little something. Kill will send you. Kill will send you 30 joints. Like, you'll just pick one, just rhyme over it. You know what I mean? So, always thankful to Kill for that, no question.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. But yeah, you know, and I told them, like, for this project, I was like, yo, it's 2024. That means I've been rhyming for 30 years, which is crazy. And, you know, I got a lot of time on my hands. So I was just like, fuck it, let's just do some shit that kind of resonates with where I started. So this project probably has way more me just spitting than what I typically like to do is to mix it up and, you know, have concepts and stories and stuff like that. Some of that's there, but I just been in my lyrical bag, so, you know.
I'm tapping in. I just clicked on the link, so you definitely be getting.
I found it too, man. I had to go to the .com instead of this.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah, you say 30 beats. I think Vague owns the record right now. I sent that nigga 108 beats. I was like, yo, just go put in the work, bro.
Right. That's
he told me that shit, like, yo, I just sent you like 100 and something beats. I was like, I gotta wait till the morning. This shit gonna be like work. Right. To get my coffee and just press play, like, what's next? But yeah, man, and it's a nice variety because you get to see the range of Kill's production. Cause I'm the type of nigga throughout that shit. He think I'm gonna pick one thing. I'm like, yo, this R&B shit crazy. I'm rapping over that. So you get to kind of see Kill's the breadth of his production style. So yeah, man, it should be dope.
Yeah, tap in VegasWorldInc.bandcamp.com. Go through, check it out. Me and Vay got 7 joints under our belt. So if y'all enjoying this one, you can start all the way out with the gray area. You're all welcome. You know, keep calm. Keep calm. We brought friends. Will Matic. You know, we got some joints. So definitely check that out. Raul Tresvan. What we cooking up, bro?
Yeah, so my album with Kill is called It's Not You, It's Me. And I'm probably about 80% done. I just got the album cover done. So yes, we working. We had a nice little session where we picked out me, Kill, and JR picked out the beats and went over some concepts. So a single out next week, and you know, it's gonna be crazy. I got my man Vegas on there. I got some good features, but me and Vegas did another joint when we on there talking a lot of fly shit. But yeah, this album is we talk about the production. This album is like some of Kill's most soulful beats, you know what I'm saying, that we picked out. And that's the theme of the album. So the Raul Tresvan thing was like a joke, you know what I'm saying, but it spawned into me making this album. So it's gonna be crazy. Trust me, it's gonna be. My last one I thought was good. This one gonna be crazy. So
I got one request though. I need a video because of just the way you rap, Raul, and what you're doing with this project. I need a video of you just mad shots of you with birds just rubbing together for no reason whatsoever. Just, you know, just on some fly shit.
Birdman.
Like Kill did in that one video. Didn't you do that shit?
Yo, bro, I didn't know what else to do, man. I was in LA, my man Echo was like, yo, let's shoot a video. I was like, nigga, I want to be in the video. He's like, nah, be in the video. I'm just like this. I'm like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I need to be in a video. Like that's what I like about Innocent Paak. Like that, where can I go to? Like, I like how knowledge is just always in the background doing something. Like he the cashier or he the bartender. That's the role I need in the video. You can't just go, I'm just in the studio with you in LA. You like, yo, let's go shoot a video. I'm like, fuck, nigga, I don't want to be in this shit. He's like, nah, you gotta be there. So yeah, that's all I know how to do. You already know what it is with me. I'm a big book head. The autobiography of Rack Low. If there's anything that you know about me, it's Keep It Low, which is a very dope book right here, which is his follow-up book to the whole Low Life and American Classic, which is a great book if you're in the low and knowing about the low lives. The second thing I'm known for, sneakers. So this is a very dope book from Russ Begston. He used to be with Slam Magazine back in the day, History of Basketball and 15 Sneakers. So yeah, those are my book club joints right there. Kill889 Twitter, IG. I don't think anything really crazy happened on Twitter this week. Was it? Nah, it was a lot of shit about that Rakim single. But outside of that, I think it was kind of quiet this week because I was in Jamaica, so I wasn't really doing too much back and forth in this week. But I will check y'all next week, good peoples.